opponents of like first picking this Venge. And so now when it's out the pool, like since they share similar pools, we may see like a more diverse hero pool as the draft goes on because they kind of take each other's heroes because they share a similar pool.
All right.
Do you think the Phoenix could be like a good replacement for that role or mediocre?
I think it could be. I mean, I think Fly plays a really, really good Phoenix, and it, you know, with a lot of, you know, the Silencer banned, the Broodmother banned, like, you know, with a lot of these heroes banned, it could, you know, turn out being a good pick, like out the phase or, you know, even on 4 or something.
Yeah, we've seen that Phoenix pop up quite a few times for EG as well.
Yeah, I think Liquid only, maybe one time, but it wasn't so impressive. I mean, I mentioned it a lot that I think Fly has been the best Phoenix player at the tournament so far.
Seems like a likely pick later in the draft.
So they're going to be thinking about whether they want to ban the Wiz, lift the Wiz, or the Weaver you mentioned earlier. Those are all the potential really, really good first picks for them.
I have a question for you. Ask you, like, we have seen Drow really popular, but I haven't seen a Drow first pick in particular. Is there a reason behind that?
I think, I mean, in a lot of games, the Broodmother isn't banned, right? And you can get 2-3 Brood, and it kind of, you know, can suck. With Brood banned in this game, I feel like there's just better heroes in a lot of cases, and Drow has, you know, situations where she can be abused. She's not the strongest laner.
I mean, I like to pick the Drow if I'm first pick, because I pick one hero, they pick 2. Then I'm more comfortable picking the Drow after that, but I'm not comfortable if they first pick one hero and I pick 2, and the Drow is among that 2. That's what I'm not comfortable with for me.
Because it leaves open a response to that Drow.
An extra response towards the Drow.
Yeah, and generally, I think almost every time, maybe not 100%, but almost every time it has been that last pick of the first phase where Drow gets picked up if it's early on in the draft.
How do you feel about the CM here on Onmarch? Because I know you were like a big proponent of it during the qualifiers and stuff.
Well, I was a CM spammer. I still believe she's pretty good, and then like the mana regen, the mana cost for that hero is affected a lot when you're position 4 and 3 because you have to keep on playing aggressive. But as position 5, sometimes you can sit behind your carrier using the clarity. So for position 3 and 4, I don't think she's good anymore. But
He's still a fan of
position 5 is pretty good. But I'll still play her in position 3 if I get a chance.
Still trying to push for it. Well, there's that Weaver that we discussed being first picked by EG. Of course, the last ban on Liquid side was Gyro.
Is it a fair trade, Quinn? IO for Weaver? Because IO is bad against Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably their idea for first picking the Weaver. And Liquid bans the Gyro because they don't want a 2-3 Gyro against a first pick Wisp, right? So it's like kind of this, you know, drafting gymnastics.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a really good point.
So, you know, I mean, I'm sure Liquid theorized this scenario coming up. So I'm sure they have like heroes they're willing to respond to this Weaver with because they knew that EG is going to bump the priority on this hero up. Like they're going to take it on that first pick. They're going to say, you know, deal with this hero.
Bloodseeker, what do you think deals with Weaver really well?
I mean, there's like the traditional ones, like the Bloodseeker and the Void, stuff like this. But those heroes can be kind of hard to, you know, pick in the first phase. There's a Nyx that Liquid has played a decent amount that's pretty good against the Weaver and also not bad in the lane either that they could, you know, maybe go for.
Is Io not such a good hero without the Gyrocopter anymore?
It's not as good, I think, and it's also just kind of spooky against Weaver, the lane and in the game.
Still taking a bit of a gamble, and there's that Enchantress, of course, has been pretty high priority throughout the entire International as well.
Yeah, so I mean, the IO Ench is a very, very strong dual offlane. You just keep hitting people. You just never stop hitting, and you can't really kick them out the lane. They have like way too much regen with the Tether and Spirits.
Maybe they had a different option than picking Enchantress, but I think picking Io and Enchantress kind of stops EG from taking the Drow Ranger here, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Blocking that off just a little bit. Of course, that's been a very big part in EG's
But I would
path.
still consider it though because it makes the Weaver pick so much more stronger, and I don't really care so much about my lane. I just want my team's lane to go well, you know, if I'm the Drow. As long as maybe I have a Bane or a strong support in the lane or I'm dying, which could be possibly picked in the second phase to, you know, to cover up the weakness of the Drow in the laning phase. I think that would be a fine idea there for them.
And there's an Ursa coming out for EG.
Oh, these two heroes are often talked about their laning phase, like how well they can lane, where they can lane, and the flexibility of the heroes. Ursa is really, really good against Ench. But I guess it goes both ways against the Ench because you can debuff the overpower. But Quinn, do you think it's possible that the Ursa be played as a support in this position here?
I think it's pretty unlikely for EG. They haven't done it a single time, and I think Arteezy is really, really comfortable on that hero. S4's even played it a couple times, but I think most likely it'll lane against the Ench. He skills Clap level 1, and they, will generally get another support with wave clear, and they kind of just push the wave in. Like this Wisp Ench, right? They can't really deal with, this wave pushing into them. They're going to be forced to last it. They can't harass you as much, so they'll just keep clapping and using whatever the nuke is, and just pushing the lane in and just farming.
I like the Alchemist ban here because Alchemist synergizes really well with Ursa and Weaver in general. They're both good axe carrier.
And they are active cores, kind of, because you kind of want like heroes that can hold the game for you while you're farming the Radiance, and those two heroes are perfect for that scenario.
And especially when they EG ban the Bloodseeker, which is really good counter to Alchemist as well.
So the draft gymnastics continue between these two teams as they know each other quite well, of course, and sharing similar ideas. There's the Drow ban actually from EG. Do you think that was necessary from EG's side?
I don't think EG has a room to use it as a core in this situation because they already have two side laners, right?
Yeah, Weaver also struggles quite a bit against the Drow. The silence is like super annoying. It's very hard to itemize against. So your like third or fourth item or something deals with this silence. So for the vast majority of the game, you're kind of just food. You misstep one time, you get gusted, you just die.
All right.
So in this scenario, would you prefer the Phoenix over the Wyvern? I guess the next pick is going to be the support. So which one do you prefer here? Like let's say for EG.
I feel like they're both pretty good. They both kind of synergize with how this Ursa wants to play the lane. Maybe Phoenix is like a little bit less in this just spamming out the wave style, but the spirits are pretty nice, and it's probably annoying for Ench to play against. You spirit him while the Ursa casually pushes in the wave and stuff. You can spirit the wave even potentially. Maybe you could theorize Wyvern's kind of nice against Ogre because people hit faster or something and they beat on each other a little bit harder, but I'm not sure how relevant that is.
So this is going to mean that Liquid has this like lane, like they're going to do kind of all out in the lanes. They're going to have Bloodlust for the Ench. Ogre's really, really good in the laning phase to secure the other side of the map. And you kind of can buy all the wards so IO can be that greedy position for if needed. Of the Lich again.
Yeah.
The Frost Armor. Chain Frost. Chain Frost really good for the relocate.
Yeah, it's like kind of taking the lane in the other direction. This, if this Lich does play in the safe lane, like instead of picking this other hero to nuke the wave out, now this Ursa is going to have.
What do you think is the idea behind the Lich here? Is it just a preference, or they want because they look at this Ogre, they know that Ogre is going to be paired up with like maybe a physical hero, like a very heavy, usually bloodlust carry. So you want the Frost Armor to deal with the physical damage.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a part of it. I mean, this Frost Armor spell is like actually absurd. People are going like 2-4-2, stuff like this, maxing the Ice Armor first because it actually just mitigates so much damage. It's so hard to play against. The Alchemist is banned, because this Lich Alchemist combo is also like really, really good. It's something that people have been picking a lot. And I think it just enables a lot of these core heroes in general, and it makes it very difficult, like you said, to pick cores into this Ice Armor because they just do so much less damage.
Don't you think it's safe to assume that Enchantress and Ogre Magi is going off lane and Lich Ursa is kind of going into their off lane to dodge that lane?
Potentially. All right.
Oh, well, the Storm getting picked up before the last pick here for Sumail on EG. Of course, Liquid earlier picked up the Venomancer.
Yeah, this is the hero I mentioned yesterday when EG picked the Veno against the Ursa, and I was kind of suggesting that when you see the Veno, do you have like more thought process into maybe we should switch the Ursa into a support to make sure that the Veno doesn't counter a core Ursa badly, or are you fine with that actually in the game?
I think EG is fine with it. I think how they think of this hero is Ursa is this hero that doesn't really lose lane to anyone because he can always push the wave and he has a ton of armor, ton of regen. And in the mid game, you play around like jumping this Veno, and now the Ursa doesn't need to be the primary one to jump either. Liquid's heroes are pretty easy to jump into for a Storm, so he can start the fight if he has a good lane or a decent game, and then Ursa can kind of come in later into the fight and explode some Ench or explode a Venomancer, if he snuck around the wards and coming from the back or something like that.
So you just rather finish it out with maybe the Earth Spirit, something that stuns, because there's very little stuns with EG right now.
Yeah, someone that can help lane with the Weaver, I think, because these kind of squishier ranged heroes, the Potom Weaver, we've seen them have like trouble in this tournament playing against Ogre in the lane because like they just don't deal enough damage. He kind of just goes up and whacks them.
What does Liquid have to do against the Storm Spirit pick then in this case, right? They have one pick left.
I mean, generally we would say pick some stuns. That would be a good start.
I mean, that one even I could have said winner if we're going to keep it that generic.
Well, I wanted to mention the Invoker because we just have seen Invoker do so well against Storm Spirit in the last series, but obviously banned out by the Evil Genius.
There you go. Yeah, they're thinking ahead of that as well. Of course, Liquid last ban was Tusk. Not wanting to deal with that, being able to come in all at once. Well, Liquid does have the very last pick. They have the 10th pick.
I mean, the other option would be Shaker right now for them, apart from the Earth Spirit. I think Shaker would be also pretty okay to solve some of their problems with the lacking in stuns, and you'll be able to help the lane at the same time.
I could see Liquid potentially go for something like the Huskar and, just say, screw it, we're not getting any stuns, we're not getting any disables, and we're going to play off timing, we're going to play off lanes, and we're going to walk down
you are
the middle
that
of your base.
Huskar picker.
That's me.
But that's why I like the idea of Evil Genius is having the Lich. So potentially, if they try to cheese it with Huskar last pick, they can just send Lich to help them mid, right?
Yeah, it definitely helps, for sure.
Just to mitigate that a little bit, of course. Like you said, CCNC, that's pretty dependent on Liquid playing around certain timings.
Oh my god. I think I'm with Quinn here. I think the Huskar still looks really, really
I definitely
juicy.
like the Huskar idea too.
All right. Well, I mean, not much time for Liquid. They've spent a lot of their time earlier on in the draft trying to navigate around this first game against EG.
Let's go all in.
Hiroki on the screen.
Liquid kind of lacks some wave clear and some real carry and stuff, but I think it's kind of hard to get all of that in this last pick.
Yeah, you just don't care anymore. You just go all out for the You're at this point where you just go all out in the laning phase.
I mean, you're committed at this point, it seems. There's not much of an answer around it. Oh!
Whoa.
That's new.
With CK mid? Maybe. That'd be high.
CK coming out as the last pick from Liquid. And there we have it. There's the draft. We're about to get into the first game of the series. And to break it down a little further, we have Nahaz.
Thank you, Chobra. This matchup features arguably the two most storied franchises in Western Dota 2 history. Over 150 combined wins at the International. These two teams behind only LGD, who waits in the wings in the lower bracket final tomorrow. Of course, great teams made up of great players. Miracle and Sumail, the only two players at TI8 averaging better than a kill per 4 minutes. Of 150 players with 25 or more career games at the International, they are the only two to average 9 or more kills a game. And of course, the supports, GH and Crit, both leading in assist rate, better than 1 assist per 2 minutes of the tournament. Liquid has tapped the GH IO 28 and 11 all time on LAN. EG coming back with the Sumail Storm 31 and 13, eliminated Virtus Pro in their match the other night. Guys, we have one hell of a series on hand, the two premier Western Dota 2 franchises, and we've got two great casters to bring it to you. Put your hands together for Dota Capitalist and Blitz.
It was 1 year ago that Liquid dropped down to the lower bracket and made a historic run through and established themselves as the kings of Dota. They look to do it this year a second time, but here, Evil Geniuses stands in their way. One man in particular, in his hometown, looks to be able to knock Liquid down a peg and stop their rampage through this lower bracket, and that is Arteezy.
Yeah, he is the prodigal son of Vancouver. He lives 20 minutes away from here. He's in the top 4. Trying to play his way to a grand finals.
And his story's pretty much always been like, hey, he seems like a pretty good player, but he's never really made it to the top. Well, in order to get there, you have to take on some of the best, and there's no doubt that Liquid is one of the best. As we head into this game number 1, Liquid picking up a last pick Chaos Knight. That certainly came as a huge surprise to me. What is that? Evil Geniuses. They're apparently channeling their Bulba. 4 of them have their coach as their profile picture.
Yeah, they absolutely love Bulba. I mean, this guy, he quit his playing career this year when Arteezy needed help. He said, I'm going to come help you. I want to see us win TI together. What a story that would be if they actually make it towards the end.
But on the other side, Liquid, they have been a really scary force, and the last time these two faced up against each other, it was a pretty one-sided affair to Liquid, as they managed to just 2-0 Evil Geniuses. What do you think about the last big Chaos Knight, though? That was certainly a hero, a little bit out of the mana, bit of a surprise.
I think it's really good against the Storm Spirit. It's really good against Weaver, at least in the early game before he gets his Lincoln Sphere, it's high armor, high damage. You have a very good stun.
Illusion Heroes always kind of beneficial against the Ursa as well, right? That single target focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like a very fast-paced lineup, though, between the Enchantress and Venomancer cores as well. At least from my point of view, it looks like they're going to have to take this game fast and really never give up control.
Yes, because what EG does best is they slightly outgreed you, they snowball in lanes, and then it becomes very hard to fight them in the mid game. But Sumail Storm Spirit, I've seen this guy carry many a game. He's going to be up against the Matama Man Venomancer, the hero that Matu almost won, well, did win TI with.
Yeah, he has.
Him and his Veno Necro Broodmother phase.
Yes, where he just had all the most disgusting heroes. S4 is going to be playing the Weaver, and they are going to try and stop him from getting to that tier 1 tower. Of course, trying to stop a Shukuchi Weaver. That's not really going to work. Looks like they're going to go and start off with a bit of an aggro tri-lane. I'm sure Kuro's going to wander into that mid lane and try and make Sumail's life hell, as a Venomancer plus an Ogre sounds really difficult to deal with. That will leave a solo mind control here at the top lane as the Enchantress, the Dark Willow, and Arteezy's Ursa looking to zone mind control out as best as possible.
Yeah, I think it's actually a lot harder to play this Ogre in this mid lane. You can only really do it, I think, if you're on Dire side, because you can get behind the tower like this, get a few hits off. But the amount of mobility that you have, it just cuts off so quickly. As you see, he already is entering the range as Sumail going to hit back a little bit. And the wave just pushes right back towards you anyways.
Yeah. You've mentioned that a couple times, how this mid lane is so much harder to play for supports, and that has led us to mostly a 1 versus 1 mid meta.
Yeah, that's why we see Sumail back here. If you see that Kuro, he doesn't really feel comfortable. Like when he's in this range, he's just going to get hit by the tower.
Right.
So Ogre is a lane harasser in mid, just isn't as successful as he used to be.
But he doesn't really have anywhere else to go, right? I don't think he really wants to be in the top lane up against the Willow Ursa. And anything to be able to slow down the Storm Spirit, who I'm presuming is going to be kind of the game winner for Evil Geniuses if they can take this.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's not even slowing him down. Matu's only at 5 CS.
Yeah, what is this? How is Sumail sitting at 11-0 in a 1 versus 2 bottom lane? They do manage to get a 2-second stun onto Fly. Lich will be able to get the healing salve off, keeping himself alive. And Miracle
stuck here.
may just end up dying here. S4 is going to be able to get some more damage onto him. Unfortunately, GH had a full healing salve going himself. And S4 doesn't dare to get in range of that sentry that was out and try and stop that healing salve. Now he's going to be pulled back. S4 doesn't really have a way to be able to escape this. A lot of damage coming his way. He's going to be able to get into the trees. And GH managed to snag the last hit, giving him the first blood. Top lane, mind control, chase down underneath that tower. But unlike S4, he will be able to get away.
This bottom lane being harassed heavy. This Fly just needs some levels before he can really do anything to challenge this lane as mid lane. Sumail gonna get galed up, but Kuro gonna make the long rotation in as top.
Curse Crown allowing Arteezy to be able to get some hits in. Trying to dive him underneath the tower. He actually went for the south mid lane. Sumail turns around, almost kills Matamba Man. Now Kuro looks to be able to finish him off. Matamba Man couldn't get the kill because of the Fairy Fire, so he leaves it to his captain.
So far so good for Team Liquid, as this mid lane needs to go very well. Veno, when it comes to the mid game, doesn't really handle Storm the best.
Oh, tried to get the last hit there with the Shukuchi. Missed out on it, denied range creep. Really going to hurt S4, as you can already see how GH and Miracle are a bit ahead in experience. This Chaos Knight, as you said, proving to be a pretty potent power against this Weaver.
I think
when they have the sentry in lane, but now S4 coming in from behind will be able to get the carapace onto GH. Fly tries to slow him down. S4 should be able to catch up to him once the next Shukuchi is up. We will be able to get the kill. 1-for-1 trade up, but GH was worth a lot more than Fly. Meanwhile, top lane, do manage to get a good Brambles out from Crit. That'll slow down mind control, and Arteezy should be able to chase him down. Kuro is trying to come in to help him out. They actually went the wrong direction, and with the Whisk coming in, he actually broke down so many trees that mind control has a clear way out of here. In fact, it's going to be Crit who may be left behind. He's trying to draw the attention of Liquid. Now dances the other way. Hit by the ball, will be slowed down. Does have the Shadow Realm TP out. So manages to draw attention to himself, still escapes.
That rotation is really going to hurt Miracle, as he doesn't really want to be here 1v1 against S4. And what you really want as a Weaver is to not be aggro, because you need levels. Level 1 Shukuchi is absolutely garbage. It's got a 12-second cooldown. But once you start to hit level 5, once you start to get that level advantage on Weaver, then you get to 1v1 offlaners. As you see Miracle throw out the stun, but by himself, not really representing a threat, as Fly is going to take good advantage of this. They're going to pump out some levels, try to get S4 that experience advantage.
S4 does have the Shikuchi, won't go for the dive though. Picked up an early raindrop to try and protect himself against that burst. Mind control. Hit by the Curse Crown. RTC's pretty far away. In fact, he will give up on that chase. We're just going to try and establish control of the 5-minute bounty runes as they come up. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Fly's trying to do the same. They do manage to get the Swarm and finish off the Chaos Knight pretty quickly. S4 will chase the Wisp away. Looking to be able to grab those bounty runes, so it looks like EG will be able to get 3 out of 4. It's only Curl behind enemy lines who will be able to pick up the other one.
He's got to be careful here. He could get sandwiched, but he's going to go the way of crit because he does not want to go there, as Sumail has hit level 6. Gale ticking him down, but should be just fine. He's got a salve on him too, and the full bottle once Fly passes it back to him.
I like how he went back for another Fairy Fire. Really looking for the outplay, but it's going to be caught with a double stun. It's only a 1-second stun, though. He is able to jump away, pull back in by Miracle, and he will barely live. Miracle hoping to be able to chase him down. He's so close. Sumail heals up a bit more, though, and Miracle is now underneath the tower. Fortunately, there's no TPs from Evil Geniuses, so they'll leave Fly to die. But the big bounty was on Sumail's Storm Spirit, and Liquid barely missed out.
That was a 4-man rotation at 5 minutes. And this is what Liquid does. They try to pressure the lanes as much as possible. They want to remain fluid. And look at this, Miracle coming in with GH towards this top lane. Gonna pop the Shrine, and immediately they're just hunting now.
Mind Control is going to try and bait it out, but he can't die too soon. Gets the heal out. The Brambles manage to dodge all of those. The sun comes out, but now GH is here, and Arteezy's going to be caught, pulled in by Miracle. Gets the stun out. They just look to be able to slow him down, and all he has is the Earth Shock to be able to slow down Miracle in return, but he's eventually going to catch up. Miracle does have another stun coming up. It's going to be a 2-second stun. One more hit. That's going to be enough to finish him off. Crit's going to be up next. Curse round does stun the 2 of the cores, though, and Crit will be able to get out as a result.
And you see Miracle doesn't really want to lane bottom lane, so he's just going to go around, force the rotations, as Mind Control now going to switch lanes.
He was trying to sneak in a kill on GH, though. TP's back. So instead, he's going to go for Miracle again, leaving Miracle alone here. The Curse Crown stun, follow up with the Brambles. Easy latch down, turn around for the 1-second stun, but Arteezy is not deterred. He got that kill. In mid lane, whoa, a long jump in. We're going to have Sumail Stormshare trying to kill Matumbaman here. Even next to Kuro, he managed to dodge the Ignite. Can't dodge the stun, though. And Sumail has one last little bit of jump. The raindrops actually saved Matumbaman. And Sumail, he will pay for his overzealous reactions. He tries to jump and take the 1v1, but Kuro denies him that. Matumbaman lives once again.
I feel like Sumail, that was a frustration jump. It's very easy for anybody to make the rotation and save Matumbaman there. Matumbaman still has raindrops, and he's got a wand to play with. Sumail, I think he's a little bit frustrated at the pressure that he's seen in this game so far.
Feels like Liquid are definitely getting a lot more kills out of this map, but it's the CS score in the favor of Evil Geniuses. That's why they need big-time kills like Arteezy, and they will be able to bring him down. Sumail's going to jump in, see if he can actually get the GH's Wiz first. They have the Curse Crown on him, so GH gets the long tether away. He's going to try and get out, but he can't quite make. Kuro, he's going to be up next, slowed down by Fly. Miracle's thinking about coming back into this one. Kuro going to go for the TP out. It's going to be a close call, barely escapes. Reading that they had no more stuns left. And that's just space for Matumbaman now. So he begins that ward pressure on the mid tower.
He's got 3 levels of it so far. Just hit level 8. Sumail doesn't really have the best mana pool to work with. There is a regen rune at bottom, but he won't know about that as at top.
They keep on trying to pressure Miracle, but 2 supports in lane. That just is free food for the Chaos Knight. S4 trying to get some damage onto Mind Control where he can. Apparently Ursa not feeling like he could do much. We look back at the way Sumail was just so close to getting Matumbaman. It was the raindrop that really made the difference.
Yeah, you see the frustration right there on his face. Thought that he should have had that kill, but Sumail, it's never just a straight one-on-one as Miracle getting gone on top.
Curse Crown leading off, does have the Brambles as well as the Shadow Realm for that extra burst of magic damage. Miracle's already taken so much. GH is going to try and come in and save him. Swarm goes out. Miracle's already taken so much, but they turn around. They're 2 mid-second stun. They almost finish off S4, and they do. Miracle survives, claims the head of S4, and Evil Geniuses, they seem to have nothing. They can't even get a grip on this game whatsoever. They're just constantly being outmaneuvered by Liquid and this GH Wisp.
Yeah, Liquid has been everywhere. They've been lane swapping as EG is kind of holding steady so far, not really rotating too much, as that might be Sumail's job this game. might want to play a little bit more active than he normally does. You can't just farm the jungle, especially not against this Veno mid, who's just going to push down your towers with these Plague Wards, surely but slowly. And that's why they're going to leave Fly here in this mid lane, and Sumail going to get active, TPing to this camp. Maybe he waits for his Weaver to come too, but no, he's just going to swap positions with Fly, who does have a smoke on him.
And Fly does have his level 6.
I feel like they should just go top right now.
We may finally see the impact of the Lich in these team fights. The stun thrown on a crit. He does have a Shadow Realm. The Ignite's doing a lot of damage, but now Sumail's going to jump in. The Terrorize immediately put onto the Chaos Knight. He tries to pop the Phantasm, the Chain Frost slows both of them down. Matumba Man will be able to get away, though. Again, a lack of stuns, but GH in the back lines, S4, he hunts the real kill. GH's Wisp has been so powerful in this game, constantly winning lanes with his rotations, but S4 will be able to bring an end to his life here.
I really like that play by EG. The Bounty Rune's about to spawn. You know that top pressure is coming.
Top tower is under attack.
Liquid, they believe themselves to be strong there. They think it's going to be a straight-up 3-on-3 fight, but this time around, EG, willing to rotate more numbers. And that's what I want out of Sumail this game. Rather than going for the more farmy Storm Spirit, you have to help out your other lanes because they are struggling.
And that kind of abuses the fact that both Venomancer and Enchantress are relatively static heroes, right? They like to just be able to win their lane and keep winning their lane over and over and over again, rather than rotating around.
Yeah, I mean, Matumba Man wants to take down this mid tower before he moves anywhere. Mind Control is in a similar boat where he wants to push down this bottom tower with this double Siege Wagon, and so it's up to EG to make a lot of space during this time. As Sumail, he's faking it right now. He wants to go on to Matumba Man. He does have the level of pull. Here he goes. He's got wand charges to work with too.
Coming in, trying to save Matumba Man, but it might not be enough. He managed to get a magic wand, and now Sumail's got to be 2 seconds stun. He's dead. Matumba Man just keeps on baiting Sumail in time and time again. S4 tries to do something at the top lane, just forces Kuro to TP back. Now we'll have to retreat as the relocate pulls Miracle back into lane.
And as a Storm player, that frustration has to build, because that looks like a free kill for yourself. But once again, just getting interrupted at the last moment.
And this is always Matumba Man's specialty, right? This is why he played those Necrophoses and Venomancers, because he annoys his opponents into going on him. They try and go for the kill, and he relies on his teammates to be able to save the day.
Yeah, you better believe that Sumail is getting frustrated.
Finally, Mind Control will be able to finish off that tower. He's been left alone and has a good amount of farm. Actually, no, he's pretty far down there.
See, this is the scary part now, though. They've claimed this bottom tier 1 tower. They're going to eventually play for this mid tier 1 tower. And once you take both of those, the game becomes really difficult for EG to play. Because you've got 3 heroes that want to farm, but you're only going to have this space to work with.
Right. And that's also why Kuro is coming in with such aggressive vision. After you take that tier 1 tower, you get some nice vision down. It really helps control that Radiant jungle area.
GH and Miracle just farming up this camp together.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
S4 is still leading the network chart, though, at 5K. Though overall, the game is slightly in the favor of Liquid. S4 is going to try and, as you say, do the same thing here, try and take that tier 1 safe lane tower. Liquid, they understand the strategy. They are not really going to try and defend that. Bigger focus on the mid lane right now. So they're almost ready to go with the relocate as well. So Fly will try and pull the creeps off the tower constantly.
You see how they're all just stacked up in this area farming the same jungle camp? That's the downside of you losing your bottom tower early on.
Right.
So EG have to do the same thing, establish control in that top lane, and now it's going to be a battle for this mid lane. This is what Liquid love to do. If you take both these towers early on, you can exert a lot of pressure. And that's what we saw LGD do. They beat them back every single time.
S4 kind of toying with GH and Miracle, feeling like alone. He can handle the 2 of them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What are we waiting for farm-wise for either team?
And for EG, you want the Blink Dagger on Arteezy so he can jump.
Don't really have a better form of initiation, seeing as Sumail hasn't had a great game. No, crits! Shadow Realm, but they do have the spirits out from GH, and he will just run down that Dark Willow. They're going to come back in, though. GH better not bring in Miracle, because this is going to be a slaughter. Sure enough, GH tries to tether away just to be able to buy a little bit more space, a little bit more time before the inevitable. He does manage to wand up that last hit, but S4 runs it down with the Shikuchi.
They might lose the bottom tier 2 tower for this. This is a good feint as Sumail continues to have to stay in this mid lane, deal with the Venom wards and the pressure. He doesn't want to lose this tower. Not for free anyways. And Kuro gonna make the rotation around. They won't have enough damage, but if they can even force him off this tower and take it, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
A bunch of poison on him. He's going to make some long jumps away. Kuro tries to position himself to catch Sumail there.
You're going to lose the tower for this, and this is exactly what Matama Man wanted to do. The kill attempt is secondary for grabbing this tower.
Fly tries to come in and save it with some frost armor, but he can't really put his hero in the position there. He may just die immediately. Tower survives a bit longer. It's in deny range now. The rest of Evil Geniuses are coming in, but so is Liquid. Tower is forfeit. Kuro picks up the bounty. And Arteezy still not ready to go. Still needs another 250 gold until he has that Blink Dagger.
He's going to get a lot closer with these bounty runes, but now, strategically, I'd say Liquid is slightly ahead because they have taken these towers. When it comes to pure farm, EG's lineup is almost always just a little bit greedier. And that's why you see things are still pretty close.
So you would judge kind of like the pace of the game going exactly as it should, that Liquid, because they're the better pressure team early, just because
might lose Matama Man here, though.
Matama Man, he doesn't have the Poison Nova and doesn't really have anything to stop EG from going on him, but GH does manage to slow down some of the damage. Unfortunately, he's going to be caught as well. A stun out onto the Weaver, mind control, lays some damage onto him with the impetus shots, but time lapses away.
Just a weird position for Matama Man to get caught up in as Crit, even going to run into Miracle here. He's pinging like crazy. He wants his team to come in. He knows that he's separated from the rest of the pack.
They have the Shrine right there, 2-second stun. Miracle is going to try and turn, but the Shadow Realm, now the Cursed Crown. Miracle is going to be caught by this Dark Will. Tries to throw out, manages to turn, blows up the Dark Will. What a beautiful play from Miracle. Getting rid of the Cursed Crown at the last second and might be able to pick up the extra kill as well. A big bait by Miracle, and it's Liquid who come in just in time. Now the relocate into mid lane. Oh, canceled there by GH. Decides against going for the kill on Fly.
It's Miracle. Continues to just farm in this jungle side. Placing a lot of pressure down here. If Matama Man doesn't die there, they are so far ahead, but Arteezy's going to get his Blink Dagger now. Not the easiest place to fight into, though, against this Venomancer.
GH being just a nice lad, as he always is. Brought in the Hurricane Pike. Or the Dragon Lance, rather, for the Mind Control Enchantress.
See the circles being drawn.
Give a look back at that bait. Look at Miracle popping it at the last second. That Phantasm getting rid of the Cursed Crown, dodges that stun. Turns around and kills the Weaver as well. Such a sick bait. Crit. That delayed stun placed onto Kuro. Liquid are trying to bait him out right now. Evil Genius is not going to fall for it, and maybe they will. The Shadow Realm goes off. He's going to have to terrorize his way out of here. Miracle is going to be hit by that one. The Bedlam goes down. They're actually going to try and kill the Chaos Knight with Sumail coming in. It's going to be a close call. Miracle's not going to be able to get away. A huge Poison Nova goes down. Kuro's going to be hit by the Chain Frost. Bounces back over to Sumail. Sumail is still with the Poison Nova on it. Will be able to finish up the Wisp, but the Chain Frost is still going. The Chain Frost bouncing around to the neutrals. Time lapse going down. S4 has taken so much damage over time that he can't commit to the kill onto Matama Man. A 3-for-3 exchange as it starts with them killing the Chaos Knight. But the Poison Nova, the damage over time just did its work against Evil Geniuses, and they couldn't outright win the engagement.
Yeah, core, both supports dying on either side. But that is going to benefit Liquid a little bit more here. So S4 made the rotation in. Now this bottom lane is going to get pushed out by the CK Wisp combination, who do have relocate in 5 short seconds. So maybe Liquid just go for another play.
Are you a little bit surprised that S4 isn't going for the Lincolns? Oh, a perfect 50-50 match we got on our hands here, William.
We haven't seen a lot of those.
Yeah, Dota Plus.
I never doubt Dota Plus anymore, by the way.
Yeah.
After this tournament, whoever it says is winning, I pretty much just blindly trust that analysis.
All right, well now it's Liquid. Just those couple of creeps made the difference. S4 coming forward, looking to be able to get a swarm on Matama Man, maybe, if he's out of position. And here's the kill squad right here. Arteezy with his Blink Dagger. Everyone from Liquid has to play a little careful around that guy.
I think EG don't really want to take a fight, straight up.
Yeah.
I think it's really awkward for them when Arteezy doesn't have BKB, and Sumail just needs more items. I haven't seen this guy this underfarmed in quite some time. He's behind every other core in this game. And it's because he's had to make so many rotations. They need his jump to start the fight before Arteezy had Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
And without his mid tower, he can't really just comfortably farm his jungle either anymore.
And now Arteezy's at a point because of the Venom Answer and everything. He feels like he still doesn't want to start fights until he has that magic immunity.
Yeah, this is just an awkward Ursa game for him because he just needs item after item.
Yeah.
And that's why he expected, I think, the laning phase to go a lot better for himself. But with the rotations that Liquid made, that made things a little bit more difficult for them as both teams playing around this topside area. Sumail still mid.
Radiant are scanning.
GH trying to get to his buddy right now so that they could relocate if needed.
At last.
Invisibility rune. Pinged out by Crits. They're going to give it to Sumail, so maybe he can set up a kill here in this jungle areas. Team Liquid still kind of farming that. But you're right, they really don't want to take a fight. Orchid's coming up for Sumail. Again, the BKB for Arteezy. They'll want to wait out those items. Do you think Liquid is okay with the game slowing down as well?
I think so, because they have good control factors, and their cores also scale. They're eventually going to have to worry about how this Weaver's going to play. So they only really have 2 stuns. And getting the Ogre stun off late game, I mean, the cast range on it is so bad.
Maelstrom build for S4. It's going to help a little bit against the illusions, that big burst damage against the IO as well. Fly's going to be forced to TP out.
And this is going to signal a retreat from EG's end as Arteezy barely doesn't get hit by the Wisp Spirits.
If he had, Miracle probably would have chased him down. So, Liquid regain control of their own jungle, push out the top lane, but what are they going to do with that? What's the point of that kind of play?
I think they want to establish control around this Roshan area.
Yeah.
Maybe even take the tier 1 tower at top.
The enemy team has an Ursa. You want to prevent him from securing that Aegis early.
If you can do it first. They've got the Alpha Wolf too.
Yeah.
But I don't think it goes nearly fast enough. And EG's going to make their way up. They're smoked. Both teams smoked up here.
Smoke's going to pop onto Crit. Shadow Realm. He saw that pullback coming. Reality Rift not going to be there, but now Crit no longer has that defensive measure. There is Frost Armor on everyone.
He's got it maxed. He's going to have it back up right now as S4 thinking about poking and checking the HP of it. Arteezy taking advantage of this time. I don't think they really want to commit to a full fight here, but if they can keep them away from Roshan, this would be a win for them.
We've seen from our earlier series how important it is to be able to take down the Dark Willow first in these engagements because of that team fight control that Terrorize offers.
They just don't have to jump for it, though.
Yeah.
I think that's where EG will feel very comfortable in this game, is they have 2 different ways to jump. They've got a very mobile hero in this Weaver. So even though their lineup, it feels a little bit greedier when it came to the lanes, when it comes to actually dealing out their damage, it's much easier for EG. And that's why Liquid, they need some of these objectives. They need to boost their gold.
Relocate to bottom lane. They're just going to push out the lane. That's all they're looking for. They still want to maintain control over that Roshan pit while simultaneously getting some pressure out on the opposite side of the map.
You see that S4 is just going really deep here. What he's trying to do is force heroes away so that Arteezy can get his BKB before they take the fight.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for him to take this fight when he's 300 gold away from BKB. That's why S4, he played this brilliantly. He just holds that Roshan area. He sends out bugs. He tries to get them to commit to him instead.
It does seem like Liquid are a bit frustrated because they're probably reading the same thing, right? They're saying, once this BKB is up on Arteezy, the fight's going to be so much harder. Let's take this Roshan now, but the damage just hasn't been good enough. Now it looks like with the Phantasm Path, the long jump in from Sumail. Whoa! Jumps in there, pokes his head out, but it's going to be Liquid taking that Aegis. Miracle will get it. So all the frustration aside, finally, the goal is achieved for Liquid.
On top, Arteezy does get the blink off before the hits. And that just comes down to S4. He went completely the other way. He went the long way around. If he holds that area roughly, just throws in bugs, I feel like it's harder for Liquid to just take that Roshan for free.
Yeah. They needed the vision inside of the pit, right? That's why Sumail just kind of makes that bold maneuver like that.
And Arteezy, he's spotted by this ward. Thought about making the jump onto Matama Man, who doesn't have that Force Staff, but does have the Heaven's Halberd.
Evil Geniuses getting so much more out of the side lanes here. As you could see, S4 farming up that Ancient stack. Crit pushed in the bottom lane, got the tier 1 tower. That's kind of the trade-off for them giving up the Aegis.
I'd imagine pace-wise, yes, it's going to be hard for your Ursa to get out his damage, but the more farm this Storm gets, the more farm this Weaver gets, it's going to be a really easy game for them to play.
But now we've got a different form of initiation coming in. Matamba Man is going to go for the Blink Dagger, probably pick it up from the side shop here.
Yeah, I'd kind of like him to go Blink BKB Hex, some sort of build like that.
You want that like hard lockdown, right?
Yes. Just being able to jump Sumail instantly.
Yeah.
Like, you have to force Sumail to go for some kind of defensive item. I think he realizes because everything is so slow, he can get away with going for the Kaya into the Orchid back into the Bloodstone.
Eul's now for crit. That is a big upgrade for the Dark Willow.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a kill on some time. As EG, it's hard to gank any of their heroes.
Yeah.
It's been 5 minutes since we've seen.
Pushing 10 here.
Tower.
Liquid still holding that slight net worth lead. You can see they're beginning to form up. They want to be able to take some objectives. They're looking to take that offlane tower maybe. Right now it's just the bounty runes. I mean, you were okay with Liquid slowing down the pace earlier. Are you still fine with that? Like
I
10
think
minutes
once you
later?
take the Roshan, once you get the BKBs out, then you should just start taking fights nonstop.
Okay. And they're just going to be super aggressive at that point in time. Just headlong into fights, feeling that they're much stronger.
Matu is going for the Hex, by the way.
Okay.
Straight in.
Nice.
I sort of think he needs BKB, but I think he's realizing the problem that his team has. I look at S4. He plays with zero fear.
Turns around, Halberd, but you're absolutely right. He Shikuchi's onto the creeps just to get some more damage out there. He always knows he's got a time lapse away.
It's going to be so hard for them to lock down both the Storm and this Weaver the later this game goes. And if either of them get linkage, you can forget about it. Which is why I think the Halberd build also has a lot of flexibility and value here. Being able to blink Halberd Hex in case they do get linkage eventually.
Right.
It's a good item against the Ursa and the Storm.
Between kiting the Ursa and then being able to Halberd him, feels like they can really neuter Arteezy's damage in these team fights. But we still need that initiation.
Yeah.
The Aegis gonna be wearing out soon here. But again, the side lane pushes, they just haven't been able to deal with them. It's always a Weaver, it's always an Ursa, and this time Arteezy is actually gonna go for a kill. Managed to take down Kuro. Now Fly's gonna die to both the Chaos Knight as well as the Wisp. They relocated in for that one.
Both heroes with no escape abilities just get caught. And this is going to be the dance that both teams play. I feel like EG is just going to continue to dare Liquid to try to take fights, chase them around the map. If this Weaver continues to play this bottom side, then Matoma Man won't feel comfortable leaving.
BKB for S4. He thought about it earlier, went for the Maelstrom, knowing that, again, felt like he kind of had a free game, no real threats on the board for him. We're going to delay BKB. RT's going to be picked up. Couldn't blink out of that one. Finally, they get a good initiation in on one of these cores that is just pushing into side lanes nonstop. Finally, Liquid might be able to do something with that. Sumail is trying to push in the mid lane. They're going to go for the kill onto the Enchantress. Mind Control TP'd in for this one. Does have the Force Staff, trying to get away from the Dark Willow. Scared of the Bedlam, as he should be. While his allies are going to go for that tier 1 at top. Matoma Man is going to make sure they have enough team fight that Evil Geniuses will not challenge.
Yeah, and S4 just going to trade towers here. Going to grab this tier 2. Does get multicasted up, but gets it in the end as Liquid. You take what you can get.
Kuro, he thought he could put himself in front. He thought he was the big tanky support, but maybe he's right. Actually turn around, multicast runs into the Shikuchi. And S4 calls it a day. Now mid lane, Mind Control takes a lot of damage with the Orchid on him, but Sumail, he's now low on mana, will be able to get up the hill a little bit, but now he's completely out. He's relying on his bottle. Bottle coming up in 2 seconds time, but Mind Control will be able to get the slow on him now. Crit's gonna come in for the Terrorize, does manage to get it off, but the Infinite Shot comes in first. Now it's gonna be Mind Control maybe dying. Arteezy comes in with a BKB. They take apart the Enchantress. GH is gonna fall as well with the Eul Scepter and the Cursed Crown combination placed on Matoma Man. He's not going anywhere either, so it may have cost Sumail his life, but it was a good trade-off for Evil Geniuses in the end.
And it costs so much for them to just go in for that Storm. Arteezy over the top with Crit's help. And they're going to grab this tier 1 tower mid. And this is where EG's lineup is going to start to get really good. As you have to overcommit if you're on the side of Liquid to get any of these kills. And with the tier 2 tower down at bottom taken, if S4 hides in that area the entire time, he can just continue to pressure that. And all the Roshans of this game will be in EG's favor as Kuro claps it off.
I'm not sure if that was probably the moment that Arteezy blew a BKB to kill him. I'm guessing Kuro was probably okay with that trade-off. This last trade-off, though, probably not so happy. Evil Geniuses being able to take that mid tower. Still, though, EG is not up. That net worth is still less than 1K, and Liquid still plenty of team fight power. They're closing in on the Chaos Knight, getting his level 3 Phantasm. That is a really big upgrade as well. If he can finish off the Heart, I feel like that's one of the peaks for Chaos Knight.
Yeah, there's two ways to deal with lineups that split push you. Either A, you get these hexes, these blink hexes to be able to instant jump. Because once you get the blink hex, you can get the relocate on top of another hero, grab the kill. And the other way is become so tanky that it doesn't matter. And that's what Liquid are trying to do to deal with this sort of split style from EG. But EG, I feel like if you take the tier 2 tower at top, it's going to be really hard for Liquid to defend these Roshans.
Yeah.
And Matama Man might just get caught here. He does have a blink dagger, and that's why they're not immediately taking the jump on him, waiting for the rest of the heroes to come around as Sumail, trying to make this not so obvious.
But at the same time, Liquid are going for a smoke with their Wisp Chaos Knight. The smoke's going to pop. Sumail immediately jumps out. Picks up the Illusion Rune. BKB now for Mind Control. S4 is going to continue the pressure onto this top lane, seeing that the tier 2 is so low. He knows Liquid is going to be forced into some sort of reaction. Mataba Man and Mind Control together are going to try and put a stop to this push.
Gets outside that range, the tower falling really low, and Mind Control just going to deny it straight up as everybody from Liquid rotated here for this. And this is just going to force EG to do more of the same, split the map, continue to frustrate Liquid.
Look at Arteezy, just immediately running to the bottom half of the map. S4 always positions himself kind of where the most dangerous lane to push in is.
He should. He's got Shakuchi to work with. He's got a BKB. It's so hard for him to die. He's going to go for the Lincolns next. He understands that survivability is the name of this game. If they can outlast Liquid in these team fights.
And that's why Liquid desperately need that Scythe of Ice from Matumba Man. He is going to pick up the first item. He does have 2,700 gold, so he can get the Mystic Staff if he wants. So he's getting there.
Yeah, I'd like to see crit. Oh,
maybe he's going to be picked off here by Miracle. Slowed down. Thinks about the Chain Frost. Finally does let it go, but it doesn't go anywhere. What is
Roshan's up.
Is Crit just chilling out, waiting for, see if there's like some sort of support that walks into the jungle or something?
I thought he was going to cut the wave.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But instead, he's just going to chill around this area as Liquid immediately go into this Roshan pit. If you can't force fights around the towers, the best thing that you can do as a team that's struggling to catch anybody is to go for the objectives like Roshan.
Yeah. And it seems like Evil Geniuses don't really care too much. I'm sure they know with the bottom lane actually hitting the tier 3 that Liquid is elsewhere, and they're probably doing Roshan. Sure enough, you're right. Crit does go for the cut on the creep wave.
This is all EG should do right now. Send heroes to cut waves, delay the timer, make it so that the Roshan isn't effective, then split up and get kills. This is
going to be one of those opportunities for a kill. Trying to get a fast one under Curl. Now see if they can get out before Liquid can do anything about him. Matumba actually got himself a little stuck here.
And with the 4-on-5, maybe they actually take this fight here. As here comes the jump
from Sumail to already managed to get the silence onto the Chaos Knight, preventing him from being able to do anything, but that is just going to be the first life. But already, it's going to be the Venomancer down as well. Arteezy goes for the TPL with the BKB. The physical damage, though, got the stun from Kuro as well. Didn't get the opportunity to TP fast enough.
Still, 3 kills and the buyback. Not bad at all by EG.
Yeah, the Aegis down as well from Miracle. He does have that heart, though. Long jump out. Oh, to Mind Control passes through him. Tries to get some more BKB activated, though. Sumail, low on mana once again. We've seen this story before, but S4 with the BKB trying to go for the kill onto Mind Control. But the heal, it just seems to be too much. Now with the extra alpha crit, they will be able to get the kill. S4 just needs to make sure he can get out. He's going to pop the time lapse. Oh, he actually got hit by the stun. Terrorize coming in, though. Nice dodge with the Phantasm. Miracle looks for the kill into S4, but can't quite do it. It's Fly with the force tap who saves him, and Crit comes in from the side. Executes Kuro. 4 dead now from Liquid.
And Liquid right now are being pulled apart. EG doing such a good job of not giving them the straight 5-on-5 fight that they want. They always take it a weird angle. They try to get the jump first, pick off a hero. Liquid, they're playing very reactively here, trying to take what they can get, but the opportunities, they don't last for very long.
Another force staff trying to get Sumail out of the way here. Miracle almost had him. Instead, it's going to have to go for the support in Fly. But the two of them, they're all by themselves. They're immediately going to go for the IO first, making sure that he doesn't get the opportunity to save the Chaos Knight's life. Now Miracle is going to have to run his way back. He's got the BKB, so should not be pursued.
Invisibility.
It's S4 pursuing upwards.
It just
There's
seems
a sentry
to me.
and a ward here for them.
Oh. S4 not going to get caught just yet. But maybe Miracle can find something else. Arteezy. These are the Suns. The enrage went out first, though. Poison Nova's going to come in. Terrorize is out. Just managed to get the fear on the two of them. They're going to come for the Chaos Knight. He won't be able to get out of this one. Controlled up. He will die. And now it's going to be the silence onto Matumba Man. They're going to try and chase him down. Arteezy. They need to stop his Blink Dagger as soon as possible, but maybe S4 by himself is going to go for the kill. Matumba Man, Kuro slows him down a little bit more. Crit comes in, Curse Crown into the Yule Scepter, almost an instant stun as he comes back down to earth, and he's just food for evil geniuses.
And even though it's only a 2K lead for EG, you can sense that the team fights, they're not going to get easier as the game goes on for Liquid, as they just go for mind control at bottom lane. Arteezy has the blink, runs into the Ogre stun. He's going to enrage this off.
Another enrage, and S4. He's just able to constantly play so much in the enemy's face, and it's forcing certain things out of Liquid that they just don't want to be using here. A tier 2 now going to go down. Evil geniuses have taken every outer tower on the map.
Has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This bottom lane, the tower's getting taken pretty quickly as S4 time lapses backwards. We'll just get out. And
now
here
the
comes
jump in with Arteezy and Sumail. They immediately go for the AO. Can't quite get him. They do get the Force Staff away on the Enchantress. They've gotten the kill there. Maybe they could have killed the tier 3. Instead, they'll just have to control the map. It's a 4,000 gold lead right now for Evil Geniuses. Liquid, though. I mean, it seems like they still can win in a team fight. They just aren't getting any of those team fights.
Yeah, in a straight 5-on-5 team fight, I think they can still win. But the problem is that EG never gives them the straight 5-on-5. They try to jump one hero with the Storm or the Ursa. Then Liquid tries to react a little bit too late to save a hero, but by that time, they've already lost a hero. They're approaching a 4-on-5 fight.
Matumba Man almost jumped again. Instant Yule's coming out. Crit's going to be slowed down.
Maybe they get crit here. This would be a pretty big pickoff. He's got the
relocate in. They actually spotted Fly, so they're going to go for that easier kill, pull him back in with the Reality Rift. Now, they do have a decent Frost Nova, but that doesn't do much.
And they lost mind control during that. This is what I'm talking about. They'll trade this every single day.
Dire are scanning.
Now Liquid.
Arteezy, he might have just
he actually turned around. The Terrorize is going to come in. BKB activated by Miracle. He's going to stay on top of Arteezy. Actually missed out on the Gale, but still GH comes in, helps Miracle to be able to claim the life of the bear. S4, as always, will be able to escape. But with 2 dead, can Liquid finally start pushing down a lane? Can they take an objective? They popped the Phantasm for that, so they want to get more than just a kill on Arteezy.
Yeah, but S4 is going to be a nuisance to them and send them back. And this is what's always going to reset the fight for them as the
jump in by Sumail into mid lane. Just jump TPO.
Here I am.
As the Illusions are going to push out this top lane, you can see that EG, they should be able to sense that they are ahead in this game.
Scythe, though, finally, Liquid. They can get some hard initiation and might just be able to catch some of these heroes from Evil Geniuses that have been frustrating them so much with their split pushing. And once they do that, once they get 1 or 2 pickoffs, then maybe they can finally get the 5-on-5s if they really want. EG will be a bit slow. Of course, S4 was already prepared for it. He has the Lincolns, so he'll be one of the few who can continue to fearlessly head into Liquid's side of the map.
And the good news for Liquid is that Miracle is still absurdly farmed. He's the highest net worth in this game.
Yeah.
By 2,000 gold. He's got all the tank ability. He's got his own form of initiation with the Blink Dagger.
He's done a very good job of keeping up, especially since it feels like Liquid has less control of the map than EG.
Yeah, the question right now for EG is, can you just keep this game going? People can't really get picked off. Arteezy, I felt like, got a little bit too over-eager as top lane. S4, he's got to be careful here. They have a way to disable that Lincoln's, and Matumba Man, he's looking for it.
He managed to get it. He managed to get the sight device on S4. This is going to be a big time to go, but the Terrorize, no! Infinite shot from Mind Control. is the last bit of damage needed. He's dead for 80 seconds with no buyback. Now Liquid. Now they can push out the side lanes. Now they can actually go and see if they can force a fight on Evil Genius's side of the map. It's going to start with a relocate. See if they can get another pick off onto Fly. And as always, Fly is going to be, well, he actually does get out this time. Force F into the high ground. He's good. Looks like that Reality Rift just put our Chaos Knight in the wrong side of the river.
Right now, solo kill attempt.
Try to get a fast kill onto the Venomancer, force him into the Nova with the jump in from Sumail. Together, that is some serious firepower.
He's just getting so farmed right now. 20 Bloodstone charges, Sumail.
And he just keeps on going for those super long zips. Doing so much damage. Finds a haste rune. GH, okay. GH won't be able to nab that one. And with the Orchid on him, won't be able to escape either. Liquid kind of forming on the high ground here, but it's not a fight they want to take.
That's 2 heroes down.
Evil Geniuses. Man, the moment you thought with that Scythe of Ice, you know, the pick off on S4, I was like, all right, we've seen Liquid just slowly but surely losing more and more ground to Evil Geniuses, but then right back at you. It's going to be Crit and Sumail getting that pick off onto the Venomancer.
Yeah, Sumail just continues to deal with these waves. And Liquid, they have to be hating this game right now. It does not feel like their future is in their control.
Yeah.
They just have to wait for EG to make mistakes if they're going to get back into this game. Arteezy did overexert himself by going for that jump on a Kuro earlier. They need more moments like that. If EG, if you play it safe, you wait for this next Roshan, you give the Aegis to Sumail, it's going to be so hard to bring him down twice. They're going to go for the smoke. They anticipate the fight first. Sumail, he's ready.
Mind control, maybe caught. They do have the Abyssal Blade onto Arteezy. Instant bash up.
Over the
big
top.
controlled long jump in from Sumail looking for more. Kuro trying to get away with his Glimmer Cape. The Dual Scepter placed onto Miracle. Will not pop the Phantasm. He's not too afraid, especially because Mind Control with the buyback is forcing Evil Geniuses away. EG's happy. They force something out of Liquid. Get out, losing nothing in return.
They did have to use the BKB, though, on the Ursa. This is going to make them a little bit more tentative as Roshan is up.
Oh, that's true. That could really help if Liquid, having used that buyback, they want to be able to get something for it. I'll see that Roshan's up now.
So going to run into Arteezy here. I don't know if they have the damage as he pops the Enrage.
Enrage trying to jump away. Reality Rift, pull back, turns around, does manage to get the Abyssal Blade hit onto Miracle. Now at the mid lane, they're also going for Kuro, but Arteezy is the much bigger bounty. They will be able to get it again. The Terrorize not there in time. Crit tries to get some damage onto GH, but has to play careful against Mind Control. Arteezy down, S4 immediately trying to push out all the lanes. But Liquid can go for Roshan and see if Evil Geniuses are willing to blow a buyback on the Ursa to stop it from happening.
Yeah, that top lane is not in good enough position to force Liquid back, and they're going to take down this Roshan pretty quickly here as Miracle, 5-6 slotted up. Just going to hit this with his Reality Rift. What's the response? As Sumail jumps in, the buyback.
Oh, he immediately got the device. They can turn on it, but he gets a force out of the pit. Miracle has now popped the Phantasm. Won't be able to get anything for it. Sumail jumping back in, does manage to get the whiz and blows him up pretty easily. Arteezy in the front lines, already taking on, managed to finish off the Enchantress. Miracle's going to be up next, but they see GH. GH tethered in, and now he's going to be caught. Immediately, they try and go for him. The chase goes down. 5 seconds till the reload. He's going to go for S4. He's going for him. Arteezy said S4 can get the damage out. GH is away. S4 now going to have to let Sumail jump in. Immediately, Scythe of Ice once again. He keeps on trying to get in there. But this time around, no, the Terrorize. Crit saving Sumail. Now Liquid on the run. Miracle trying to get out, but Sumail bouncing around him. It's a 1 versus 3. Miracle needs to be able to grab somebody here. 4 seconds on out of S4. He executes him. 1,000 damage. Crit turning, looking at Sumail. Not sure where he wants to go. Now Orchid up. Can't do anything. GH couldn't save him either. Crit drops low. GH will get away up buyback now from Miracle. He wants to come back into this fight. He sees how low Evil Geniuses is. He'll find Crit first. Fortunately, Sumail had it on banner to be able to get away, but Fly, bit by bit, the Chaos Knight is coming. He wants to be able to find him.
He's getting really out of position
really
here,
close,
though.
but now he's going to be slowed down. Chivas, Miracle, he's deep into Evil Genius's side of the map, but now Sumail, he has to get the 3 seconds done. Miracle takes his but no, he jumps away, trying to get out. Miracle has one more reality rift, finally does manage to spot him. Sumail jumps a little bit farther, 1 hit, that's all he needs. It's the bolt that claims him. Miracle dies, but he does manage to get the kill onto Sumail first.
And Crit in the back lines does pick up GH, who is desperately trying to make it to his buddy. And now it's EG. That fight so hectic. Both teams losing a significant amount of gold, but they come out ahead with heroes at the very least. The Enchantress about to respawn, same with the Venomancer.
Evil Geniuses will have a minute. They know that. There's no buyback on Miracle and GH. So they can wait until Sumail and Arteezy are back up, and it'll be a 3 versus 5 for a full minute.
As the jump in comes
Or
on a
maybe it's going to be even worse. Crit trying to go for the Ogre. Again, Glimmer Cape and Force Staff always saving these heroes from. Now the jump in from Matumba Man. Managed to get the Poison Nova. He immediately gets the Gale as well onto Crit. He's taking so much damage, but now the Chain Frost bouncing out of the creeps. The Terrorize as well. They managed to control it. Matumba Man with the Curse Crown as well. S4 looking to be able to get that kill. Crit eventually takes out, but now the jump in from Sumail. He finishes off Matumba Man. Looks for more. S4, he's got to get out of here. He's halberded up. BKB, no time lapse away. He's dead as well. Liquid, they don't need the buybacks of the Chaos Knight and the Wisp, but they will have to give up on Aegis, Cheese, and a Refresher Shard.
That's going to be the big grab for them, as EG, they were just trying to buy time for that Roshan attempt to happen. That was why all the buybacks were expended in the first place. But Liquid not going quiet into this night. They are still the defending champions. A lot of pride here for them.
Status resistance, level 25 for the Ursa. That's going to make a big difference, because I'm sure the Chaos Knight was hoping to get those stuns, man. That kill, that turnaround by Miracle, being able to kill Sumail, absolutely massive. I mean, he massively overextended himself, though, in the first place.
It's because GH was coming, but Crit saw the spirits. You can barely see him, his ult finishing up.
Crit's just constantly trying to hunt GH every single time, right?
You see Sumail, he'll take that trade every single day of the week.
Now Liquid are a full 5-man up, but thanks to the Aegis and all the other bounties of the Roshan kill, they can't really do anything while S4 and Crit are still dead. So instead, they're just going to push out some of the lanes. S4.
Bottom lane going to get dealt with.
Yeah.
Here comes the win probability.
69% now to the favor of Evil Geniuses. Liquid, though, in that last fight, I think they really proved that they can deal with the Storm Spirit. Thanks to the Scythe of Ice, I mean, 2 times they just answered Sumail. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the damage the first time he zipped in. As thanks to a really good Glimmer Cape and Force Staff out by Fly, Sumail was able to escape. But Liquid at least showed they have the tools available. But can they deal with an Aegis Storm? That is something dramatic difference.
Liquid, they've got a DD rune on Miracle. This is a huge pickup this late into the game, as you see how he can burst heroes down.
Bloodthorn now for Sumail.
As you can see, EG, even with the Aegis, they're still tentative to take this fight. Like you said, it's not as clean as they'd like it to be.
They're going for it.
They might just go for it. I
they
think
have
they
the
take
double
this fight.
damage. They have the double damage on the Chaos Knight. That's why they want to do this. Even with the Aegis and Cheese and Refresher Shard and all the odds that should go in the favor of Evil Geniuses.
And look at this Invis rune, both sides eyeing it here. Miracle.
Miracle will take it. Evil Geniuses have spotted that. They're going to try and jump forward. Already got the Blood Orchid. Now immediately pops the Phantasm, tries to turn. Unable to get a stun on his team, but he he jumps forward, tried to go for mind control, couldn't quite get it. Pulled away by the Refresher. Terrorize didn't really hit a whole lot, but he pops the Refresher. Does manage to get another round to be enraged with the BKB. Oh, good Nova going out, but the Chain Frost bouncing around. Arteezy's already dead. Matumba Man's going to fall right after him. His Crit tries to finish him off. Yule Scepter finally does manage to get it. S4 Sumail. Sumail's running low on mana, but does still have that Aegis, so he's going to come back soon. But they need to get out. Curse Crown actually stunning the 2 of them together while Sumail comes back up. He jumps away. It seems like the double damage was enough for Miracle. They took away the Aegis. That was not a bad fight for Liquid whatsoever.
No, it wasn't. And it starts because Miracle is just so hard to take down in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think they should look at him.
Yeah, please
He's got almost 6,000 HP.
He's got a heart on him, a co-scepter.
Jesus.
And they are not touching Miracle if this Wisp is alive.
And it's not like the others are easy to deal with either. Mind control with his untouchable. That's where Arteezy's already headed for every single time.
Arteezy immediately jumps on a GH. He thinks this is going to be a free kill, but that's a hard IO.
Yeah. And he's going to have Aeon Disc up next. Jump in. They already got the combination on a GH. They're looking to be able to keep him stunned with the Cursed Crown. Kuro trying to get a stun in somewhere. Miracle, though, is going to be able to have that BKB activated. Going to try and threaten Sumail with just the physical damage. There goes the Terrorize, pushing back the 2 supports. But Miracle is still on those front lines. It's surprising how, despite not being able to stun the Storm Spirit, he just keeps on running at Storm, and he just puts physical damage onto him, and sometimes it's enough. It's enough to force Sumail back.
And you see, once again, they try to go onto that GHIO, and they're just not successful. And once he gets this Aeon Disc, it's not going to get any easier here. As Liquid, this is what I meant. You need to be able to brute force it. If you can't get the catch, it's your ability to just stand together as a 5-man. That'll win you this game.
And Sumail's just he has to burn through so much mana trying to make sure he doesn't get stunned or anything, and he's just not putting a damage in.
He's going to need Arteezy with the jump.
Almost.
They have to time this a lot better. When you go on GH, if he gets the Ghost Scepter off first, he'll never die. It'll take you way too long to get that kill. So somebody on their team needs to be able to get the Purge off. And that's why the Weaver, it's going to be his job with the Nullifier. S4 really needs this item. That'll be the next turning point for EG.
And the funny thing is, now they've got the relocate cooldown. Like, Liquid don't need to play on EG's side of the map so much. They could just kind of relocate out to these side lanes occasionally because it's almost always up. The hard for the Enchantress. Tank on tank on tank. And it's funny when the Venomancer is the squishiest one on the field. And yet he's got Halberd, Ghost Scepter, Hood. There's the relocate again, just to push out some of the side lanes.
And Arteezy making his way down there, but he cannot kill anybody by himself. This is so problematic for his hero. The Ghost Scepters, the Hearts, the Hurricane Pikes. So he jumps in a little bit too late.
The Nullifier will make a big difference once S4 has that one, but he's got to make sure he doesn't get caught first. Fortunately, with that super fast Shikuchi movement speed, he's going to pop the BKB as soon as Matumba Man threatened that Linken's.
EG 13k up. No DD rune or anything on the side of Liquid, so they're still hesitant to fight. But they see the bottom lane.
Got you twice.
It's Mind Control that grabs it. Does not want to risk anybody from EG grabbing that.
Yeah. Miracle is now giving up his top net worth slot. That's going to be Sumail, who's looking at an Aghanim Scepter. What do you think about that upgrade for the Storm Spirit?
Oh, I think it's fantastic against Liquid's lineup because they ball up together to try to take the fight.
Right.
That'll work against them once he gets the Ags. And
he sort of jumps from Sumail and just push out the creep wave.
I think once he gets the Ags and once they get the Nullifier, they should be looking to take team fights.
Right. That's still going to be a bit because everyone needs to make sure that they still have buyback even after they buy their items. Speaking of buybacks, the last one from Liquids is just about to come back up. That was Matumba Man's from 5 minutes ago. As he's working on a BKB now.
Yeah, we've got the calm before the storm right now. As you're not going to see too many pickoffs. It's just usually going to be large-scale fights when it comes to lineups like this.
Yeah. And does that next fight happen around Roshan?
Yes. Both teams need the Aegis. Liquid needed to keep it away from the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. It's not necessarily the greatest on their team, but you keep like Storm Spirit's got to be the best to have it. Divine Rapier, okay.
Okay, Miracle says, I need to be able to just burst somebody.
Yes.
This is how you do it. Screw control. If you can just kill the side heroes on the side of EG, maybe this is how you get it done.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, it's not even they're not even really in a desperation position.
No.
This is playing to win.
I mean, this is also, like, no one wants to touch Miracle because he's so damn big. He is so tanky.
that he might as well just build up on his damage as much as possible. Who needs boots? You've got Reality Rift. You can pull the enemy to you.
Yeah, I think the best part about this too is he knows that GH is going to be the first target anyways.
Yeah.
So he's going to have plenty of time to get his damage off, as he's going to find an illusion rune.
And that's going to be super scary for all of Evil Geniuses, because he's also got the Reality Rift piercing the spell immunity, so it's not even like a BKB, and just movement speed keeps them ahead of Miracle.
Yeah, it's going to be Arteezy that has to be careful about this.
Yeah.
As he gets blown up in this game. So now it's going to be a question of who can take down who supports first.
For me, the biggest question is Miracle going to hit that big crit when he needs it?
Yeah. I kind of want to see. Okay, he does 1,700 damage with that crit. That is almost the entirety of S4's HP pool.
Oh, man. Fortunately, everybody on this side of Evil Geniuses has a lot of armor, thanks to your boy Fly. And he's going to give a little bit of extra helping hand here with the level 25. I wonder if he's going to go the HP regen.
Well, Liquid right now, they're gathered around this Roshan pit. I think you might even want to give, you probably give the Aegis to Mind Control.
Yeah.
Give the cheese to GH as
relocate to pick up bounty runes. They are mega value right now.
Yeah, they give so much gold.
Liquid have begun to get vision around that Roshan pit, and Roshan is coming up. 6 seconds. And this is where things will finally come to a head.
The IO decided to go for the Spirits damage. He has no interest in giving that Ags. There are fantastic heroes for him to give Ag Scepter bonus to. But he understands, I'm not playing with any of you guys. I've linked up the buddy system. It's Miracle.
Miracle's not wanting to use Phantasm on anyone else but himself. Ward thrown into the Roshan pit. Liquid knows. I'm sure Evil Geniuses know as well.
It's a relocate. Maybe they set a trap here, EG. If they're fast enough, this is the Divine Rapier.
Here comes the jump in. They're going to try and blow up GH. If they can kill him, there's going to be no relocate. Well, with the Nullifier down, they will be able to take us on his Miracle's now going to be left alone with the Divine Rapier. He's dead. Liquid, no buyback on Miracle either. A smoke gank by Evil Geniuses. It doesn't happen at the Roshan pit.
They so
set
smart.
The trap.
They knew that Liquid anticipated them around that Roshan pit. That was such a genius play. Liquid thought they were going to take a Roshan fight. They were headed around the area. They went to deal with bottom lane. They figured that EG was going to be holed up in this top area, but EG, they went for the next level play. They thought ahead. And this is how you're going to win games against a team like Liquid.
Liquid's been doing this time and time again. They've been relocating to push out the side lanes. One of the problems was they needed that Nullifier to deal with Ghost Scepter of GH's. And a smoke up together. They find that Divine Rapier. Arteezy now has it. Miracle, head in his hands, knowing that they are in serious trouble now. 30,000 gold lead for Evil Geniuses after that exchange.
And EG feeling it right now.
Refresher shard for Fly. He's got the Aghanim Scepter too. So we may be seeing double infinite bouncing chain frost on top of the Phantasm of the Chaos Knight, but he doesn't even have it yet.
Watch for Sumail. He's got the Aghanim Scepter. He wants the long zip. The Lich combo with it. And this could just end Liquid in game number 1. As he's got the mana pool for it. The Clarity stacked up.
Nice scale in by Matumba Man.
Here comes.
He's going to pop it, but here comes a long jump in from Sumail, landing right on top of Matumba Man. Only going to be able to pull in with the Cursed Crown. The chain's done. They take him out. He does have buyback, though. And with Miracle coming back up as well, Evil Genius is going to have to retreat here. They're completely slowed down. Miracle's going to be able to grab him, turn around, though. Here comes the Terrorize as well. BKB barely manages to go off. Miracle can go back in, especially with the Nova. He's going to pull Arteezy in. He knows that he's got Arteezy down. He needs to be able to get that Divine Rapier back. Second life. Can Arteezy get out of here until he's at the Vice? He's going to be blown up. Sumail then supports the 5-1, but there's no damage out. Chain Frost coming in. It's bouncing around. The BKB is activated as Liquid manages to split up. They take down Sumail too. It just keeps on staying on Mind Control and Matumba Man, but it doesn't matter. Liquid, they hold. They get that back. The Divine Rapier and S4. He almost got caught as well.
Oh boy, Miracle came in at the last second. The perfect timing. And you saw Matumba Man, he blinks away from the rest of his team. He drags that Chain Frost away.
Yeah. So fast. Liquid so fast on the reaction, seeing that
Evil Geniuses just overextend themselves just a little bit. They see that Divine Rapier available. Oh.
And the buyout's coming in. GH going for the Aeon Disc. As S4, he's going to run into him. He's got a DD.
He's going to run into him. He does have that Nullifier. He's got to wait until he pops the Aeon Disc. So he won't be able to go for the kill.
Miracle going to grab this tier 2 tower. And I can't believe that Liquid are still in this game despite everything that had happened. No buyback on their CK. They lost their Rapier. They gave up Aegis Cheese and Refresher Shard, and they still managed to hold.
Evil Geniuses will not be forced into a buyback here. S4 is pushing in the bottom lane enough. Liquid are a bit too scared going high ground into the Storm Spirit. They're not even going to try it. So we look back at that last team fight. See, the jump in just wasn't quite what Sumail imagined, and they blew so much. The BKBs, the Enrage, and he already got the slowdown. And combined with the buyback, Liquid were in such a strong space.
Yeah, and Sumail running out of mana here. He made the long zip in. All he finds is the Veno. And if you look at Matama Man, when the Chain Frost flies in, he just tanks it for the rest of his team.
And Fly is so slow that he can't get the immediate Chain Frost. He tries to run back in.
The 5-man zip pull.
Oh, that was so pretty.
And Matama Man, he instantly splits from his team, takes both of them over with him. The presence of mind to be able to do that in that team fight.
Yeah.
So Matama Man, he's happy.
We head back into what seems to be a very even game. Maybe a 16,000 gold lead for Evil Geniuses, but Liquid have proved that they can take a team fight against EG. And one team fight is all it takes at this point. S4 scouting out some of these heroes. Going to be spotted here. BKB activated. Relocate coming in as well. He's got to get out. Matama Man's trying to keep pace here, but he's too damn fast.
All the BKBs are low. Won't cost them too much. As Kuro, he's got to be careful here. As GH gets gone on, but it's just a feint. They know that he is not an easy target. 3.8k health nearly on him.
Yeah.
Go Scepter, Aeon Disc.
A late Veil for Crit with all of this magic damage, hoping to be able to improve everybody else's. Matama Man picks up a heart. He was one of the squishier ones, and that's why I think Sumail tried to go for him last time around, see if they could just take him out before the Poison Nova went down. Now it's going to be a lot harder. He already had the armor, now he's got the HP thanks to the heart.
Dire's top shrine is
Liquid
under attack.
getting ran around once again. EG trying to calm themselves, reset the game a little bit. They must have been so confident about that bottom fight, especially once they grabbed Matama Man and they had the Rapier on their hands. And this is where the game becomes a little bit tricky for them because they know that the opportunity to lose the team fight still exists.
He's by himself. He has a Blink Dagger, managed to get away from Crit.
S4,
he does have a BKB as well. He needs to pop it, but he gets hit by the Nullifier first. Oh no! He is going to go down here. He does not have buyback. He's dead for 2 minutes.
This is your opportunity, EG. You have to go for it right now. Everybody gathered around this area. Sumail still has mana. No buyback on the Veno. Can Liquid hold again?
In a 4 versus 5, this is going to be so different. The Phantasm popped early here by Miracle. He does have the Blink Dagger. So everyone's got to be very nervous about that hard kind of initiation.
He's just looking for one hero. He finds
jump in. Arteezy gets off the BKB first. They still manage to surround him with the Phantasm. Managed to get a good pull off with the Chain Frost. But the Terrorize as well. It's going to hold the two supports together where Miracle, he's getting torn apart by Arteezy. He managed to get the kill thanks to the bash. GH is going to die as well. He only has a buyback on a Miracle. Losing his Wisp is going to cost him so much, and he doesn't have the Phantasm. He doesn't have the Divine Rapier. Evil Geniuses now control Liquid's base. And S4 not even caring about mind control at this point. He's just going straight for the objectives. Sumail's going to zip in. Doesn't really want to blow the BKB. Throws out the Orchid. And they're just playing so scared even still. It's night now to jump in. They're going to be able to get the Enchantress. A buyback there. But it's a 2 versus 5 in Evil Geniuses. Maybe after watching LGD try and go straight for the throne and fail, they will not do the same. They're going to try and go the super conservative route of just going for Megas. But now with a pick off onto the Enchantress, it could be big. The BKB activated first. Force that out. Mind control turning and fighting S4, forcing him to use that time lapse.
And they're still sticking around the area. There's no buybacks on their side.
No need to go anywhere. Another BKB. Gonna be blown. Arteezy looking for the bash, trying to get it. The Bramble's also being laid down. The BKB lasts a little bit too long, but now the Terrorize off the pull in thanks to that negative step through the chain. Frost bouncing back and forth. They are both dead. And that's it. Liquid, they have a buyback on the Wisp. Venomancer and Ogre are back up, but those are not the damage dealers, and that's why Liquid are gonna call it here. Game 1 will be taken by Evil Geniuses in 64 minutes.
What a game by EG. They were so patient. That move they made towards that bottom lane twice now. Yes. They played for the win. And now EG and Vancouver's very own is just one game away from knocking out the defending champions and moving on.
Evil Geniuses said that the next time they face Liquid, they're the ones who are going to get the 2-0. Well, they've got a good start here with this first game. Liquid, it just seemed like they had the right ideas. The split push mentality, I mean, that was classic Evil Geniuses, but it also seemed to work very well against Liquid. They just struggled to get a good hold on the game. The heroes were just too slippery. And that's why our panel, it's time to talk about that game. Geniuses take it.
EG leads 1-0 in the series as two teams fight to survive here at the International. And, I mean, it happened again, right? It looked like the game was going to be over one way or the other, and then we came out and the fights kept going back and forth. CNC, walk me through those last couple of moments.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a giant mess. These games like this, these super late game games where everyone's really tanky, they have hearts on like, 5 heroes in the game or something. The fights just keep dragging out and heroes stay alive for a really long time. Like, it just becomes utter chaos, and it's kind of hard to tell who's going to come out on top.
Yeah. I mean, Winter, what were your thoughts when you saw that Rapier come out for the cast night?
I wasn't sure that it was the right choice, but eventually I felt because they had like the sort of like a slightly weaker late game team, and they knew that they couldn't let the game drag as much. And the last fight at bottom, the only reason RTC died there because Creep made a really big mistake there. When RTC he was down, Aegis popped, he yielded himself. To remove the Gale or something. He was trying to remove some damage from the Veno, and he came out of Aegis, and he couldn't use his ultimate after the Storm jumped in to grab like 4 to 5 heroes. That's why they didn't win that fight. They were supposed to win that fight. And that was what happened. The subsequent fight, the combo was perfect, and they were able to breach the base.
Right. Yeah. The second time it happened, it looked very different, obviously, in favor of EG. I mean, March, were you convinced that throughout EG was still going to be able to carry that lead despite some of these gambles that Team Liquid brought out?
The heroes in the EG look pretty solid going more into the late game. Storm late game is very strong is what I feel. And they were able to take the Aegis every single time. So it looked pretty convincing that EG would take the game. But I want to go back to the drafting phase of the game. I feel like for Liquid, they're strong teams and they can play really well. But for me, it feels like they're just not picking the synergy hero within each other. Like Enchantress, obviously a good hero, Io, good hero, but like, do they really synergize with each other? That's my question.
Right, and we talked a little bit about that as the draft was going on, that Team Liquid seemed to have maybe put themselves in a corner a little bit. Well, that was game 1 in this series. Of course, it is a best of 3. The players gathering themselves for game number 2. But while we wait, we have Shiver with Lyrical, it looks like, with a scoop.
Yes, I do. All right, so beginning a lot of questions, hashtag #TA8Scoop. Thank you for sending all of those in, and some of the questions are addressed to commentators. So hereby I drag Lyrical out here.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for joining me. So first question is regarding the tie situation of the talent. Have talents learned how to bind their own ties, or is Paul still doing it for them?
I mean, it's sort of on a case-by-case basis a little bit. I learned how to tie ties in high school, so I still know how to do that. But there are a couple that can remain nameless for now. There's a couple.
Name and shame, please.
All right, Fog, he doesn't do it. Fog, that's not his thing. He's a great analytical caster, amazing guy, but he doesn't tie his ties. They're already done up. And yeah, besides that, there's some other ones that are a little bit funky, but pretty much everybody's there right now.
All right. Do you have any pre-cast rituals?
Yeah, actually, I hide right behind that wall that's right here, and then I'll look at the screen, and if there's a game going on, then I'll like sort of cast it myself just from behind the wall, which is a little bit weird. And then after I get done with that, I'll also go through Spotify and play some rap songs and rap along with that as well, just to get my mouth moving a little bit.
I wish we could have that on tape, but I've been told that the lyrics aren't really suited for that. What has this TI been like? Is another question. This is your first time where you casted on the main stage of the International. Tell me about it.
At first, it's terrifying. It's absolutely scary. You see all these people out here, and they want a good game. You want to provide that for them, and it doesn't, always end up happening. But occasionally, it's an amazing game, and then you just sort of settle into it, and you go from being terrified and nervous and all these things, and you just get comfy in it, and you realize you've done this 100 times, and everybody there wants to enjoy the Dota, so it's just amazing. How
big of a role does the audience play when you're casting?
It's huge, honestly. You get this surge of adrenaline and emotion, and you sometimes might fumble over your words a little bit, but everything is just that much more crazy and exciting, and it's indescribable, really.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for being an awesome audience, because you definitely make a difference, not just for commentators, but also for panelists, and definitely for teams playing here on the grand stage. And with that being said, it is back to Chobra.
Thank you very much, Shiver, and thank you, Lyrical. It's great to hear another person who raps before they go on commentary, because I used to do that when I did play-by-play, so that's cool. Also, just a little fun fact, there's 2 Wills in this talent pool. Only one of us knows how to tie a tie. I'll let you figure out which one that is. With that in mind, we're getting ready for a game. Why are you laughing? I mean, could be the other Will, could be me. I don't know. All right. Well, we're getting ready for game number 2 in this series. Let's go back to the draft, because obviously that's where it all begins, and I think we're going back to that in game 1 as well. Right, as it started to pan out, we talked about, all right, both teams going to have the same or similar hero pool. They're going to bounce around each other. And then Team Liquid got perhaps maybe caught off guard a little bit, CCNC.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They lived through both of EG's favorite heroes, the Weaver and the Ursa, the cores that they've picked, every game if they're available. They'll pick Weaver or Ursa, and they'll take the other one if it's there. And they do that consistently. They play to multiple roles. It's very comfort heroes for them. And I'm not sure what Liquid banned first phase. I don't remember, but we'll see if they change up their first phase bans and ban this Ursa or Weaver, or if they feel confident, playing and picking against them, and they feel like they, maybe messed up a pick or a ban, or the game was just misplayed.
Well, speaking about the bans in that first phase from Liquid, I guess perhaps maybe another interesting one was that gyro coming in, right? Obviously with the IO, they only banned out the gyro. They took the Venge out as well early on, which you mentioned specifically being a common hero between the two. I mean, March, what's your take on that ban phase? Do you think they need to change that in order to secure a better first phase?
I'm okay with the gyro ban. I think it was a smart ban that was good. But for me, personally, I think you could have just ignored the Wisp. I don't think that hero is that strong without the gyrocopter, and maybe just could have went for the Enchantress and Usa pick there. And then that could have just been a takeaway pick from the EG, and also you take a good both side lanes, which is the meta these teams are playing in.
I just want to focus on maybe on the direction, because this game, Liquid, the approach they used was more focused on the lanes. That's why you have this IO plus Ogre. And we had this discussion earlier, even though lanes are really important in this meta right now, but we feel like teams have been improving. They're getting better at the lanes to the point where if you have the weaker lane, they understand what to do to get a 50-50 lane, even though they are weaker. So having maybe more balance in the draft, going for less focus on early game and more focus on overall game, maybe would be better for Liquid.
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line between enough laning and not getting stomped in your lanes and having no game, and having too much laning to where you have Chen, Enchantress, and Wisp, and then suddenly you have no stuns, no team fight, and the game is just difficult to win if you don't just blow people out the water.
Right. Yeah, and that's something we discussed, right, in that last pick for Team Liquid. How do they kind of round that out? They didn't. They kind of all-in on it and went for ending the game on their terms. Wasn't able to do that, but while we wait for the players to get ready for game number 2, Casey actually had a chance to check in with some of the fans that we mentioned that have been awesome here in Vancouver.
It's time to play the International Playtime Game! Just like the American version of The Price is Right, we're going to be playing Plinko. We're going to be giving you these discs. You are going to be setting them on the top wherever you like and releasing it. Where it lands, nobody knows except for the Plinko piece, and there you go! We have prizes. Who wants to win a prize? So each of these correspond to a small, medium, or large prize. This is fun, so I want everybody to be able to go 3 times, but you only get 1 prize. And a hush goes over the crowd. I want to warn you, my MMR in this game is 10,000. How many people have seen The Price is Right? You guys guys remember what the fail horn sounds like? Very good. Now let's try all of you doing the whole thing with me, which is... That was so much better than I ever thought it would be. Normally I would ask for volunteers, but we had two young gentlemen who were nice enough to carry this entire thing over, so can I have them please step forward? What is your name? Nick. Sir, your name?
Brad.
Brad, were you?
Resemblance?
It's uncanny. It's uncanny. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. I'm going to give you 3. Pick a number between 1 and 3. 2. So that means out of your 3 tosses, the score you get on number 2 is the score that determines your prize. Ooh, 50. Get a hat!
Thank you very much.
And begin. Thank you. Woo, thank you. Wow, okay. Bailey, 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 Bailey. We'll receive another hat. I want someone who can dance. You are the first person to raise your hand. Get up here. All right. What do you call this dance you're about to show us?
I have no idea.
You raised your hand, sir. Name it. Name it.
The crump.
Do it. If they would help me, don't let me down. I want to see if we can get the entire stadium to do the Price is Right fail horn. So when I say it, I want everyone to go. Y'all ready? Great. That sounds so sad. Really well done, everyone. How many people are really enjoying these matches today? Aren't they amazing? Oh my God. What do you think so far? Show your flags. These are great.
OG is the best. That's what I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go EG.
EG? Is this going to ruin a friendship, do you think? Oh.
Sorry.
Just these guys.
What was your question, sorry?
Oh, don't worry about it. I shouldn't have asked it. I asked it and I was like, that was bad. All right, you guys, we're getting ready for the next round of games. You ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. Back to you, Chobra. We're having some fun out here with the fail horn.
Thank you, Casey. I mean, that definitely puts a little damper in the arena, but we're getting back, and the players are coming out, and I think the crowd will get riled up once again. This is game number 2 in this series between Evo Geniuses and Team Liquid. EG currently leading 1-0. After a bit of a hectic end to that game 1, they're able to pull it off. They were holding on to the lead for quite some time, and they're able to secure it. They are 1 game away from moving on to the lower bracket finals. PSG LGD currently awaits one of these 2 teams. And there's Team Liquid coming in for redemption, trying for a comeback and make it a game 3. Make it a series for themselves and for all the fans here in Vancouver and those watching at home. a lot at stake, obviously, here as we're entering the very last stages of the International. But I think right now it's just one game that's on the mind of all 10 players that are on stage. We started talking about the draft a little bit and how they could adjust from game one on Team Liquid's side. For EG, I mean, there isn't really much they need to change, right? It worked out in their favor. They just need to wait and see what Liquid's doing.
Yeah, and they're going to get second pick this time, so they're going to have the last pick. The last time, I don't think Liquid utilized the last pick as well as we hoped for. And this time, they're going to have to deal with a last pick coming in for EG. We've seen them time and time again, how they give Sumail the ultimate best 10-pick hero, and he dominates the whole game.
I think on the flip side, it is much more difficult to ban in the first phase whenever you are second pick, because if there's these super broken heroes that you don't think you can play against, like this Venge and Chen and stuff like this, like that you don't have an answer for, you don't want to play against, like you can sort of run out of bans and end up leaking out hero, you know, sort of like in this last game, right? I mean, Liquid kind of just, they ran out of bans, and then they have to play against his Weaver, and then Ursa ends up in the pool and stuff, so I'm not sure what Liquid's going to take, but they may, you know, sort of turn the tables and force EG into the position where they don't have enough bans.
Yeah, I mean, March, what are your thoughts on that in perhaps how that ban phase now plays a role into EG's plans?
I definitely favor Liquid in this phase where they, like what Kun's saying, and then I felt when we were watching EG's game earlier, when they had a last pick against OG, they could have picked better heroes like Broodmother or Huskar, and then they opt to not go for it. It looks like EG's not favoring them, is what I feel. And on the other hand, what I want to see from Liquid is like, I don't want them, I get an impression they're reacting too much of what opponents are picking. Like just trying to pick best heroes in the pool. Like maybe just stick to what they know, what they practice, and then go with that.
But that's what Liquid been doing a lot, though. They always like to counter-pick their opponents, try to, you know, wiggle around their way into like a pick that could just win the game, you know. That's how traditionally Liquid has been doing and winning their games with.
But way too much is what I feel.
Perhaps focusing too much on that, and you know, now, I mean, they're at a stage where they need to kind of put all their cards on the table and do whatever works best. Of course, I mean, on the other side, in the final part of the bracket, OG is kind of waiting with that strategy in mind, right? Playing what they know best and going with their own meta, perhaps, in the International. Well, we'll see how Team Liquid adjusts as we go forward. I mean, they're the ones that need to come back and show us something new, while Evil Geniuses, as we mentioned, might be able to just wait and see how things pan out. Well, it looks like the players are all ready for the draft. It's going underway. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the next game in this matchup.
Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid. Game 2.
There we have it, EG leading 1-0, sitting comfortably. They will have that second pick this time in the draft. And Team Liquid, the ones who have to show us something new as they look for a comeback in this best-of-3 series. The bans have gone underway, and we do see a couple familiar bans on both sides. Broodmother being taken out by EG early on once again. And meanwhile, Silencer and Enchantress this time being taken out by Team Liquid.
EG opt to take a little bit different of a route than Liquid did last time. They, instead of banning the gyrocopter, they just ban the Wisp. They say, we're not playing against Wisp, and you know, you can have your gyrocopter if you want it, but you know, you're not getting the combo and you're not getting Wisp.
Fair enough.
I just have a quick question for you. You see Team Liquid was the first pick in the Dire, and then not everyone knows so much about like what teams prefer much more when they win the coin flip. Could you give us some insight about that?
I think between first and second pick, it kind of fluctuates based on like how teams are feeling, what they're winning with, stuff like this. But in general, I think every team will take Radiant. So if a team is on Dire, generally that means they chose pick or they didn't have priority, because no one will ever choose Dire. They'll always either choose pick or Radiant. And the pick kind of just depends on the team and how they feel.
Sure, fair enough. All right, well, there's the Weaver ban coming out from Liquid, this time not playing around with that, and no plans to pick it first themselves either.
Team Liquid.
So Venge is in the pool?
Yeah, Venge remains in the pool. Do you suspect that is kind of a go-to must-pick for Team Liquid at this point?
Probably, maybe, depending on what they want. And it's a hero that is really, really strong like throughout the game. Gives you so much. And because of the Kling's ban, we might see a Wraith King to respond to that. I'm not sure what they want to do here against the bench, but overall, I feel like EG doesn't need to change too much of their approach, what they did in the first game.
Yeah, there is no Weaver this time around, so they may look to take the Ursa here. Like Winter said, I think it's also reasonably likely they do this Wraith King Willow 2-3 that a lot of teams have been doing and having pretty good success with across the board. It's pretty nice because they don't necessarily have to be a pair in the off lane. The Willow can lane with something else in the off lane. The Wraith King can be a safe laner. You have a lot of options.
And there you have it. Wraith King coming out, as both of you have mentioned, and Willow as well. Saw some great moments with Willow in that first game, and then an immediate Nature's Prophet from Team Liquid.
Immediate snail ban, Storm Spirit. Right after banning the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, no pause on that one. They kind of left it open. EG picked it up early last game. Not wanting to deal with it.
Isn't it just like kind of like a similar approach to last game? Because Prophet is also a very lane-intensive hero. They're still, gunning to try to pressure a lot in the laning phase.
Yeah, it seems like it. That's generally Liquid's style, though. They've been a team in the past, even looking back to last TI, a team that prioritizes stuns a lot lower than other teams, and they tend to just play off of execution and tempo and whooping you in the lane so bad that you don't get to play.
All right, March, what are some of the other heroes that you think now have to be in consideration, especially from Liquid's side?
PL, do you think possible? Like PL is pretty decent against these two heroes.
For Liquid's side, I think there's still a Draw Ranger where Draw Ranger and Nature's Prophet is really good together with Vengeful Spirit. But I guess they'll be banned out from the Evil Geniuses here, most likely, or they take it themselves.
Do y'all remember what Sumail has played in the last several games besides Alex Storm and Tiny? No, besides those. Yeah. Because
Winter was quick to jump on that one.
I actually cannot remember.
10 seconds.
I think that was a TA game. I remember him playing TA.
Yep,
okay,
there was
you're
a
right.
TA
That was
for a time pick.
the OG game that they lost, the TA game.
Yep.
Because, I mean, I really like Liquid's bans. They ban the Storm, they ban the Alchemist, they ban the Comfort Zone hero, sort of, and say, EG, give us a different look. We've seen, Storm and Alchemist plenty of times. What else do you have? Because I think Liquid is very happy if EG picks the Tiny. That's a hero that they pick almost never themselves and almost never ban as well. They are very confident playing against the hero, I think, and don't think a hero is particularly strong. So I think they may be saying, pick it. I dare you.
Fair enough. I mean, trying to pressure. That's something that I think a lot of teams perhaps shy away from a little bit just because of EG and Sumail. And there's
Terrorblade soon, I guess. They are really liking Prophet Terrorblade as a team. They like to pick those heroes together a lot, and Terrorblade. But Terrorblade doesn't really lane that well against like the Wraith King Dark Will. He's gonna have problems in the laning phase, I think. But he's a direct counter matchup against the Spectre.
Don't you also think the PL is pretty good against the Wraith King and Dark Willow as well as the Spectre?
Yeah, the Spectre PL one's like kind of a two-sided matchup, but it's most definitely good against the first two. I think the Spectre pick's kind of interesting in that Liquid ban the Alchemist and the Storm, which are both like traditional counters to the Spectre, so they kind of like turn the bans around on Liquid a little bit, I feel like, and saying you ban two counters to the Spectre, we ban the Necrophos, so she'll have a little bit better of a lane, and then we pick the Spectre, so thanks for banning those for us.
Using it to EG's advantage. Brew coming out for Team Liquid.
So we are seeing the Nature's Prophet on position 5 most likely here. Thinking the Brewmaster is going to be position 3.
Do you like that now? Or do you prefer him on the core more?
I think it kind of just depends on how they think these lanes play out and how the support matchups work. I'm not exactly sure how these supports play into each other, but I think that's the biggest thing is how they think these support matchups play against each other.
So once again, EG favors this Lich. I've been thinking about this Lich pick for a bit before, because we talk about the position 5 heroes. If you're looking for a team fighters, you usually talk about the Wyvern and the Phoenix, and Lich somewhat falls into a similar category, but on top of things, you're not as weak as like the Phoenix or the Wyvern. They're not that weak, but they're not as good in the laning phase, whereas Lich is really good in the laning phase. So maybe looking for that balance there. So that's the TV here, the direct counter towards the Spectre, but his laning phase is somewhat a suspect here. I'm not sure if he's going to have a decent laning phase, but on the other hand, he does have the position 5 Nature's Prophet to secure the lane for him. Do you think that's going to be enough with the Prophet? He's going to be able to get decent, like 50-50, break even in the lane, 50-50?
Yeah, I think it should be pretty good. They have like really, really strong level 1 between the Treants and popping the meta on the first few waves, so TV should have like a decent enough start, and he'll get his stick and whatever else he wants. Furion can kind of just play suicidally in this lane, and if Wraith King Willow are going to combo him, it's fine because he can just port back in, bring more regen to the TV, and I think they should do fine.
So I guess Matu needs like a core that can hold the game for the Terabit. He's Necros ban, Venos ban. The other hero that I'm thinking is maybe the Pugna that he also likes to play a lot.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a spooky Pugna game though, into like Spectre and Willow and these heroes. Like it's not even particularly good against Wraith King, and if the game drags out, then you can kind of just become like useless food against the Spectre.
So what are the options that you like more over the Pugna? DK, so.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. The like the traditional ones that these like mid heroes, they don't have that many counters. Like this Clinks and Necrophos are banned. The TA is not really a Matu hero. It also pairs pretty poorly with Liquid's draft. They kind of want some catch, but you can't pick like an Ember or a DK here because you're gonna get too hard countered in the lane when this 10th pick. That you just won't have a game and you won't actually be catch because you can't move around and do anything really.
I mean, don't you just ban Husker if you want a DK? Like,
yeah,
what are the other
there's like Monkey King that's pretty abysmal. That one's like DK can't get past level 3 really before he gets kicked out the lane. I guess the Pugna could be decent because it is does sort of fit into that category where it doesn't have very many bad lane matchups.
Kind of have to pick your battles here for Team Liquid on what you want to focus on for this last pick. Of course, EG having the very last pick of the draft.
It's a little problem for Liquid because Matumba, is not really the classic mid laner Miracle is, and then like looking at his hero pools, like I can only imagine like DP or Lina, or DK, and then they don't seem so good in this draft here, including the Pugna that you guys mentioned as well.
Well, it seems like Team Liquid discussing the similar conundrum that we've mentioned.
I mean, that's the issue, not having the last pick here. That's why I feel like I would rather be on the last pick team, and it could make a huge difference if you can come up with that hero, which I felt Liquid didn't really utilize that well the last
unfortunately, game. I mean, they had that advantage, wasn't able to, painted themselves into a corner before they could even utilize the advantage, and here they are being forced to make a choice.
You can tell it's very, very difficult for him. They are taking a long time.
Wow.
Oh, that is good. That is way better than a Pugna. So you have a break to deal with the Spectre dispersion. A pretty decent laner. So what are the hardest counters right now, Quinn, for the lane?
Bloodseeker is pretty abysmal for Viper. There's like your traditional ones like Sniper and Lina, these long-ranged heroes that can kind of just get their stuff and be okay. And then they're also pretty good in the game because they're so long-ranged, and Lina's really mobile.
How about the Timbersaw? I've seen like Timbersaw lane against Viper, even though he breaks your reactive, but as long as you have the armor already stacked up and you block the creep, like you can tank the creeps and just tank the damage. And Timber is also quite decent against the Terabit later on to the game. I don't feel like they have enough burst to kill the Timber. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, it could be an option.
So but you're more leaning towards the long-range heroes to deal with the lane.
I think so. I think this is Bloodseeker's not banned.
If Peter is asking you now, what hero do you want?
What hero do I want? Probably.
That's a good way to think about it.
I think Lina's pretty decent. It gives them some building damage, which they kind of lack right now. It's good against the majority of the heroes. This Furan can be a little double-edged because you can get ported on and die, as evidenced by our game 3. But I think overall it's pretty good. It gives them some hero that's mobile, can move around, do stuff.
But there's the Timbersaw. All right, winner.
What a boss.
Calling the shots here. Well, there we have it. Two heroes that weren't quite discussed in the earlier drafts, but coming out in full force. This is going to be game number 2 between these two teams. Team Liquid currently looking to come back and make it a series. And before we go into game, we have a chance to get a little bit more insight into Team Liquid as Casey awaits with Heen.
That was a really great first game. It was really, really close. What kind of adjustments are you making, especially when it comes to the draft we just saw?
Well, I think it's kind of funny because the first game, there were a lot more heroes unbanned. Basically, we expected them to ban different heroes, so there were a lot of different heroes, and we kind of weren't prepared for that scenario, and we ended up with a lineup that isn't like the classic Liquid lineup. But despite that, we played really well. I think we could have easily won the game if we made better decisions. And this time around, we stuck to more, Liquid-esque heroes. So I think this time around, we're going to feel much more comfortable.
Best of luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to get into game number 2 in this elimination match. And to bring you the action, we return to Capitalist and Blitz.
That's right, Evil Geniuses are up 1 game, and our last picks have changed the draft pretty dramatically. We had a Viper and a last pick, Timbersaw. It seems like both teams are trying to get that extra little edge in at the very end of the draft. But Blitz, where do you think it actually fell in?
I kind of like EG's draft. I feel like they have a good answer to the Vengeful Spirit, which I think is one of the better heroes that we've seen at TI. She does so much for you. She has a build that you can go for as a fort position in the Aghanim Scepter. The minus armor, the laning phase of her is very strong. But I think the Lich actually does a pretty good job at dealing with that with the Frost armor.
We're going to have to see whether or not Matumba Man with his Viper is going to be enough to be able to keep the Timbersaw down. As that they tried. They were like, what's the last pick going to be? Well, we're going to go ahead and grab a Viper to see if we can shut Sumail out entirely. It's funny because this matchup does host 2 of the best mids in the world, right? We got Miracle on one side. We've got Sumail on the other, though Miracle is going to be playing the Terrorblade in this game.
And Liquid 1 game away from elimination. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Being defending champions is not easy. Every single target on your back, and EG, they could do it with Arteezy, home crowd at his back.
Especially Evil Geniuses, right? After losing earlier in the group stage, they said they learned a lot, and I'm sure they continue to watch Liquid games as they made their way through that lower bracket. We are going to be having bottom lane. It's going to be Brewmaster and Vengeful Spirit GH Mind Control duoing up to see if they can put some pressure on the Spectre that is going to be playing by Arteezy. Of course, he's got the extra balancing axe of the Fly Lich, which is going to be able to sacrifice and pull the lane back, which will make it a little bit harder for that Brewmaster. Our mid lane matchup, we talked about a little bit early on, is going to be the Sumail Timbersaw, which Winter said, he actually called out that pick, said it actually is not that bad against the Viper, despite the break that is provided by Matumba Man and his Nether Toxin. And then our top lane, we do have the aggressive lane from S4 Crit, the Dark Willow and Wraith King. This is a kill duo trying to keep Miracle down in his Terrorblade, but Kuro and Miracle are going to try and do a battle here for this Banner Rune, see if they can secure that extra little bit of gold at the start of the game, and they will.
Yeah, they're going to get 3 out of 4 here, so early lead from them. And this is the combo that we saw Mineski actually just lose 2 games in a row with.
Yeah.
Put Ice 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 on this Wraith King. Let's see if EG can kind of right things for themselves.
In theory, it's supposed to be a really good duo, right? Because you've got a setup stun into the brambles. You've got a lot of physical damage you can lay out. Crit. Interesting position here. Curl, because the creeps don't aggro right away, looks to be able to put some pressure on S4, but Evil Geniuses had that all planned out. They managed to get the early Wraithfire Blast into the brambles. Curl's going to be blocked out and will be your first blood, S4. The aggressive duo of S4 and Crit strike the first blood and make a extra good start for their laning phase.
Yeah, mid lane, predictably, I think Sumail doing just fine. It's rare that we see him just outright lose lanes, and this lane is not that bad for him. Like Winter said, the break mechanic doesn't really come into play until later on, and he should just be able to tank up most of the damage once he gets aggro on himself with the creep wave. So it's going to be the other lanes that we turn towards.
See the breakdown here, the Spectre. Going to be feeling that pressure, the Brewmaster, being a melee hero, being in range of that clap. You never really know when you're going to be gone on. That's why you could see Arteezy always trying to pull the lane back into himself. And the Lich will be able to help out with that.
Oh, look at that fort to block the dagger onto the range creep.
And so because of that, they'll get the deny. They're already having an experience problem because of Fly throwing down the sacrifice on those range creeps, so they've got to kind of even things out a bit. The Glyph will be able to slow down the Lich and his progression into more sacrifice as well as the Lich armor, which is going to help Arteezy survive against all this harassment.
Top lane, Miracle getting gone on here. He's starting to get pretty low.
Dangerously low, just bursted down by the Shadow Realm. You can see Kuro just really can't leave Miracle alone for long, but he doesn't provide a disable or anything, just purely harassment with the Treants. But once they decide to throw out that Wraithfire Blast, there's little he can do to stop him. The attempt at a dagger again for the range creep, missed by Arteezy. Mind Control snags the deny.
Arteezy's not even doing that bad. He still has 7 CS, doing just fine for himself. And
blocked a little bit, does heads to the stick, turns around. HP is really going to hurt them and all the pressure.
By EG down here, which is going to help quite a bit of damage here to Sumail.
This is about the time that you could lending a helping hand. He needs
lane player. And so far, so good, as he hasn't been touched, but on the flip side of things, you do have a Terrorblade that is farming a lot faster. They're working towards this. On the flip side of things, you do have a Terrorblade that is farming a lot faster. They're working towards the same goals, but Terrorblade's going to get there a lot sooner.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Evil Geniuses invading into that off-lane jungle. The common triangle of farm, and that's exactly where Miracle is. They're going to throw everything they have. That's exactly where. Make sure he doesn't throw everything. That's exactly where Miracle is. They're going to throw everything. Ultimate as well. Seeing the rest of the Liquid here. Opportunity to sun.
They're waiting for Miracle to be up before they take any sort of fight. They should be aware that there is a ward here as they find another catch here.
They're going to try and save Kuro. GH is coming in, but he's going to be far too late. It's going to be in the mid lane where they start going in for S4. The Brewmaster ultimate already out, and S4 burned out. In charge of the game.
Mel's got to be careful here. To be up before they take any sort of fight. Spot him. Everyone's starting to come in.
Tornado into the drop down, into the stun. Matumbaman's a little bit far. And he's actually going to go for the tower instead. They're just going to try and push the Mail back, take that objective, but there was still a glyph available, and now Liquid have realized they may have overextended themselves. They can't get caught here. Evil Geniuses, they do bring Crit in a long-range Brambles. Snags Matumbaman. But instead, it's going to be a deny on that mid tower.
And instead, Miracle just going to go back to farming these ancient stacks. He's so far ahead of the rest of the pack.
It's funny, Evil Geniuses, they saw that big ancient stack, and I think that's in part why they wanted to be able to take over that area, but they don't have anybody be able to farm it, so. Miracle takes it for himself. You were talking about the farming speed.
Crit, if he could find him here, he's got the Yule Scepter. They have so many ways to kill him if Crit gets on top of him.
Yeah, without the Manta, he can't dispel that Cursed Crown. They spot him now. And Miracle trying to run right through him, not going to be able to make it out. The Cursed Crown into the Terrorize again. Has to deny the Sunder at all costs.
And Crit getting the last hit for that. Very well deserved. He almost has a Blink Dagger on top of that Yule's.
Holy cow.
He
just had the Yule Scepter too.
Yeah, if you click on the cores right now, Arteezy is 0-2-1. Timbersaw is in a similar position. They were only really a part of that one kill.
Meanwhile, Crit has picked up so much that he's actually keeping pace in net worth with the Brewmaster.
9-3-6. This guy has turned it up for this game. He knows that his cores can't really help out, so he's just getting it done by himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
With Miracle dead and a push coming in the top lane. Evil Geniuses try and pursue through mid. They actually knew that GH was going to be sitting here in the back line. They will be able to catch him once again. Crit just cannot seem to stop. He will be able to pick up that kill. Maybe no. He actually gets stopped the TP. GH lives with stick charges there, and looks like Crit finally got a bit too aggressive.
But if they can get the Roshan here, he might have just bought them enough space to do this instead. And this would be a big pickup on EG. Their team doesn't really take objectives the best.
Certainly would. That Chakram. And the physical damage is allowing them to do a lot of work here. And it seems like Liquid have no idea, so that's going to be an Aegis for the Arteezy Spectre now, who also has his Manta complete.
It's really surprising that they were able to be the first team to pick it up.
Yes.
You wouldn't expect it out of their lineup. That's why Liquid had no idea that this was happening. And instead, they're going to just reset, allow Miracle to just pick up farm.
It's funny how in the match between these two teams, the net worth difference between the two really never extends too far one way or the other through the laning phase. And it goes to show how evenly matched these two teams are. Dual Scepter now for Samael. Give him even more survivability. Crit setting up at the bottom lane. His team might want to mass TP in if he gets a good Terrorize in. Has to be careful though. Shadow Realm will dodge the Magic Missile. Cursed Crown taken off by the Manta. They take the tier 2.
They're just going to go for the trade instead, as similar to last game, both teams Not really willing to engage his S4.
The blink into the high ground, they have the vision. They're going to be able to catch Kuro. The TP is coming in. The Glimmer Cape's not going to be enough to save him. Mind control. It's going to slow down S4, who on this high ground area is going to be kind of tough. The Spectre comes in. He immediately goes for GH. He does have that Aegis, but doesn't want to lose his life. And Miracle, he died on the left-hand side. GH tries to be able to get the kill in and finally managed to kill S4, but that's not good, actually. It slows them down, but Man's going to turn and fight. Managed to throw the Viper Strike onto S4. They will be able to claim that second life. Mind control comes back in immediately. Curse Crown into Yule Scepter, into the Brambles. He's going to be taken out of this fight. It's a Matumba Man they want to be able to focus down. In the meanwhile, while Sumail, he'll deal with that Strength Hero. Mind control hit by another Brambles. A Terrorize was still available for crit as well. Wiped out of existence, Liquid.
This is right in front of their base. They still have the Manta. They still have the Aegis EG. They're going to consider continuing to go forward. It's Miracle going to spawn in 12 seconds, but that's a huge win for them, especially on the Shrine side of Liquid. They didn't burn the Aegis for that either. As Sumail climbs his way to the top of the net worth charts.
21 Bloodstone charges for Sumail's Timbersaw. He is just going to be out of control now. With all that mana regen that he has, he could just constantly stay on the map farming.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Diffuse a Blade is going to be coming in for our TZ pretty soon, as well as his level 3 ult.
Dire are scanning.
So the Blink Dagger going to be completed by Crit. It's going to be a big item pickup for him. And he's very easy to watch in this game because he's been setting up everything for his team. Everybody else just filtering in behind him as Liquid. It's now their turn. Doesn't really seem like they know where to take the fights.
It does kind of seem like they've been letting Evil Geniuses set the pace. What does Liquid need to do to kind of take control of this game again?
I feel like they need to be more active with this brew split. It feels like they were way too content allowing Miracle to just farm hit creeps. They're getting lulled into sleep by this EG team, and EG just comes up with bursts of aggression. That's why these games feel really weird, where you see a lot of kills, but you don't really see team fights, because that's why EG, that's the way that they want to play. They want to just be able to pick you apart, get 1 or 2 kills at a time, never engage you in straight 5-on-5s. And I think Liquid is so used to that 5-on-5 style.
Crit, going to be hit by the Viper Strike before he can actually get the Shadow Realm off. That's going to be a lot of damage over time, but he still has the Yule Scepter. Yules goes out. They actually get a Yules onto the Viper as well. He managed to blink himself away.
He's just going to get out and reset things for his team again, as Sumail doing the same. Drive by Yules to save his support. And this is what I mean. EG are just frustrating them. They're running them around the map, not really giving them the opportunity to get into these straight-on fights.
They will get 3 out of 4 of the bounty runes, though, for Liquid. And they do have the Nature's Prophet. I'm presuming part of the reason they grabbed this support Nature's Prophet, is because of Evil Geniuses and the style of split pushing that they presented in that first game.
Oh, absolutely. They wanted a hero to be able to catch the waves, push them in, because that's all really EG's going for.
Yeah. And then they also have a lot more catch than they did last time with the Vengeful Spirit as well as the Brewmaster.
And look, again, they're just trying to find this one-off pick-off, and they might do so.
Terrorize. They don't want to let him get off the Primal Split. That's going to be all important to blow up this Brewmaster, and they do manage to get him. Now Matumba with his BKB. He's trying to go for his support, but so much physical damage. The swap back, Matumba Man heading to the Shrine, activates it now, but Evil Genius are still in hot pursuit with the Curse Crown into the Yule Scepter, straight up route. S4, he'll take down Matumba Man with the help of Crit. 4 dead once again from Liquid, as it looks like even Kuro was caught by RTZ.
They're doing this right in front of their base. And so Sumail gonna force out the buybacks, 2 on the side of Liquid. And now it's a 5K lead. This is what I'm talking about. Never give Liquid the ability to get into this 5-on-5 fight with this brew split. Keep splitting them apart, finding 1 hero, 2 heroes at a time. EG's doing such a good job of that in consecutive games.
Liquid finally pick up the BKB for Miracle. That's a significant show of power for them in these next couple of team fights. But as you're saying, they're not actually getting any of those team fights. Liquid just getting picked and split pushed apart constantly. And Evil Genius is always there to collect when a hero gets a bit out of position.
And this is what Liquid does best. They force fights on you. They outplay you in these team fights. They out-spellcast you. You give GH the ability to make big plays. Well, if you take that away, you run them around the map. You make it frustrating for them to take any sort of engagements. Crit just goes around finding solo pickoffs.
Yeah.
If you don't give Liquid the ability to team fight, it severely hampers them as they're going to go on to Sumail.
Oh no, he actually threw it on Yule Scepter. He managed to get the chain through, taking off that Yule Scepter. Still going to be caught though. Thankfully, the Viper very strong against that Timbersaw with the break mechanic.
Had the Bloodstone deny, but opts not to use it.
Thought that maybe he could get out in time, but will be coming back pretty shortly here. Thanks to all those charges he racked up. And Evil Geniuses, they have so much catch. Look at how Kuro, okay, he's got the Glimmer Cape and Dark Willow. I think Crit saw the TP in, maybe, of the Brewmaster.
Yeah, GH is here.
All right, still get caught. 3 seconds till the blink is up. Sprouted in, and an Urn is going to be able to stop him. He has the Shadow Realm, but they just need to be able to get AoE damage to prevent that Blink Dagger from coming up. The Terrorize is going to be thrown down. No, it's not. Liquid. Now it's their turn to be able to get a couple pickoffs. Now they can actually push out some of the lanes. Unfortunately for them, no Roshan available just yet.
Yeah, Sumail and S4 trying to keep their streaks alive right now. They want to be able to be the first team, first 2 players to repeat as TI champions, and Liquid trying to keep their hopes of being repeat champions alive too, as Miracle has the BKB. They want to take this fight now. Any sort of pickoff, and I think Liquid's just going to go for it.
Yeah.
They're getting frustrated around the map. They don't want to play this style of EGs where they just get 1 kill at a time, get picked apart. You have to press the issue at some point in this game.
But it seems like now is not the time, with the top lane pushing into their base. Bottom tier 2 is being threatened as well. They do spot S4. This could be a really good pickoff, but S4 has already retreated deep into the trees. They have the vision down, and Kuro knows about that because the skeletons started aggroing onto him. He was the closest hero available on the map, so he knew the ward was there. They take it out.
S4 still a little bit reluctant to TP out, but Kuro sends out the trees a little bit too late, and EG gathering up around this Roche Pit area. They want to just continue this style, frustrate Liquid, don't give them the ability to 5-on-5 against you.
And playing those sides of the map, that is really important part of the way Evil Geniuses is split pushing, right? There's a reason that S4 was a little bit hesitant to blink, to just TP out. You've got to maintain constant pressure on those sidelines, and being able to hide away into the trees and dodge the attempted ganks is an integral part of that.
Yeah, if anybody's going to hit neutral creeps, it's going to be RTZ. If you're the Timbersaw and you're the Wraith King in this game, you're just going to push sides out.
Not to worry, everybody, as we're going to give you the audio cast now as Liquid.
Yeah, they're roaching, by the way.
They're sneaking into roach chat, guys. Don't worry. You're not missing anything important.
Just trust us.
30-minute room, swap back in, Fly. He managed to get the Chain Frost out. We'll be able to bounce around. The Terrorize controlling up Mind Control. S4 is right in the middle of all these supports. Managed to blow up Kuro already. Now with the BKBs activated on both Miracle and Matumba Man next to the Shrine, they will be able to take down the first life of S4. Arteezy, he came in with his ultimate, activated his BKB, but he's being beaten back by Miracle. But now, with that magic immunity gone from the BKB, Miracle's going to be a little bit exposed. The magic damage
Miracle,
coming in hard. He's
Sunder.
Yule Scepter out. Needs to be able to get the Sunder down. But he can't quite get it. He's going to be executed. Sumail.
They
Set
find
up
Mind
beautifully
Control.
with the Chakram. Now Mind Control's going to be gone as well. That's 4 or 5 dead from Liquid. And now they're the ones heading into the Roshan pit.
As EG, they pick up 5 heroes. Kuro goes for the buyback. They're up 8K now. They're going to get the Aegis and the cheese. Aegis going to go the way of Arteezy. And another teamfight win for them. Starting on their terms once again.
Aegis for Arteezy.
They are inching closer and closer to this win. Fly gonna run into Kuro.
Fly has nothing to stop him.
Gonna throw down the sentry ward though, and get the D ward off almost immediately. Sumail called himself king once, but you gotta knock off the defending champions if you want to hold that title.
11,000 gold lead. Evil Geniuses getting very close to being able to secure that 2-0. After such a tremendous win around that Roshan pit, they're now going to be able to take that remaining outer objective into Tier 2. But breaking the high ground, that's going to be a different kind of task for Evil Geniuses. This Team Liquid, they do have some pretty good high ground defense. You've got the Swamp back there, the Vengeful Spirit, the split pushing power of the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, but you don't want to be in this position when you have the aggressive lineup.
Yeah.
The only person that's really going to scale into the late game in this game is his Terrorblade. Viper, not the best hard-hitting core, especially not against Liquid's, against EG's heroes. 12K down, 31 minutes in. That feeling of dread is going to start to stick.
S4 going to try and go in one time. Man, the Terrorize comes out, preventing the BKB, and so much.
The jump forward.
Now Arteezy's going to look for more. Goes for GH, activates the BKB of his own. Yule Scepter going out onto GH, holding him in place long enough for Sumail to be able to get there and help Arteezy claim the kill. Now they're going to go for the Tier 3 with the skeletons out. They do a lot of pushing power.
And Kuro gonna try to catch the wave, do whatever he can to hold on. But Liquid, they can only watch as EG hit their racks.
That is going to be the first lane. Liquid now going to come in with mind control, but no! Gold Scepter, can they burst him down? The Brambles are out. He tries to get the ultimate. He's gone. No Primal Split, no buyback available. Miracle's going to have to do it all by himself, but his Lucian's already gone. And Miracle himself has to retreat as he knows his BKB timing is limited. With no allies to support him, he has to watch Evil Geniuses take not one lane of Brax, but now two.
And Liquid, they can feel their hopes dwindling. This crowd, they sense it. EG, 17K up, 2 racks.
The EG chance had begun. Look at Sumail. He immediately tries to TP up to that top lane to prevent any split pushing from Miracle.
They're playing for the win here, trying to get these mega creeps. Liquid, what is your response?
20 seconds until the Brewmaster is back up. He is so important to be able to take the team fights for Liquid. Evil Geniuses, will they stick around? They have the Aegis still on RTZ. They can
just gonna go back
now
in.
They're gonna jump in with the Scythe Device. They managed to grab Matumba Man, and they will be able to take him out until the Thunder. Miracle, he makes a ball. He can't be out, but the Terrorize coming in. He managed to mantle, force tap in, back to the fountain he goes. He will be able to regen up, but Matumba Man just cannot be saved. He gave him the extra life, but it didn't seem to matter. Arteezy will drop the Aegis now. Liquid, they need to control this carry. They need to take him out, but Sumail has already jumped in, looking to be able to get the kill on the Kurt with the pullback of the shotgun. Will be able to take him out. The swap back, and Arteezy still managed to find Miracle. He buys back, but now GH is dead as well. It's only Miracle and Mind Control trying to stand their ground with a Primal Split. Sumail comes in, trying to take away all these Brewlings. Their damage is going out onto Sumail right now, but still, S4 on the front lines. Will manage to get a shot on Miracle. He's going to die a second time. The BKB activated. S4 is almost dead. Mind Control's trying to finish him up. Arteezy's also low, but Mind Control has no damage. Cut down by the Timber Saw. The Whirling Death takes the Strength Hero down to size, and now the Raxes are exposed. The Tier 3 is gone. Mind Control buying back. At HHP, managed to get the clap in. Arteezy's a little bit low. He just gets bursted down too quickly. The Scythe. Now the Reincarnation slowing down. Miracle tries to turn it on. GG is called. Liquid. They fall to Evil Geniuses. EG hold true to their promise that they would. 2-0 Liquid on the main stage.
EG securing themselves a top 3 finish at minimum. They're going to move on to fight against a PSG LGD squad that they 2-0'd in the group stage. And they might just find that rematch against OG that they're waiting for.
Unbelievable. Such a dominant performance by Evil Geniuses. It seems like they truly did figure something out. A way to be able to beat Liquid, their split pushing greedy style that Evil Geniuses has been known for years. They crack the code, figure a way to make it work here against Liquid. Nothing but respect and hugs between these two competitors as Liquid, respected worldwide, has so many fans behind them. They were the champions last year, and they look this year to make it the 2-time, but Evil Geniuses, they denied that opportunity.
And Sumail and S4, they keep their hopes alive of being the first to repeat as TI champions. As you see them swap Boba. It wasn't the cleanest of hugs, but it works.
The goons of Evil Geniuses, ecstatic to be moving on to the final day. So we wrap up our day, Evil Geniuses and Liquid. We have to say goodbye to Liquid now. Evil Geniuses will be heading to that final day. The panel will break down their victory.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Indeed, Evil Geniuses moves on to the lower bracket final in a 2-0 victory against the reigning champions, Team Liquid. I mean, that match, it started with the draft. Winner, you call the Timber Saw pick, and it saw some good success.
I was worried though when I saw he was so greedy.
You were.
Yeah, he didn't get a quote. He went for this Bloodstone Rush. I felt like even though they had some magic damage, but I felt like in the early game that's the only way they kill him with the Panda ulti and the Viper. So these are the two things that I felt like worries me the most if I'm playing the Timber in the game. So I would have just gotten an early hood to make sure I sail past that stage of the game. I get the Bloodstone and I want to get a use to dispel the Spirit Vessel if they get one. So, I mean, he made it work.
He made it work. I mean, Sumail makes whatever work, whatever he wants, right, in the game. And, of course, another player that stood out is, I mean, Crit's Willow was all over the place during that game, CCNC.
Yeah, I think he's like the only platinum player on a hero in all of TI. He's, you know, a real specialist at that hero, just absolutely played out of his mind. Just killing people all over the place, just kind of walking around and just pressing buttons on people. They're all just dead.
Yeah, I mean, he was just out on a hunt nonstop. So there it was the presentation from Evil Geniuses. Right now, we're going to get to hear from one of them. Casey's waiting with S4.
S4, congratulations.
Thank you.
You were one of, we've chatted over the years at many TIs. You're always so calm and so even-keeled. Are you a little bit excited?
Yeah, I think after we win, I was the most hyped one in the games. Usually I'm a bit calm in like interviews and stuff, but in the booth in there, I'm the most hyped in our team for sure.
Talk me through these last couple of games that we saw. How do you think you played?
We kind of we came in very prepared, and I think Bulba and Fly Tal, they did a lot of work coming into these games. We've been sitting for like 10 hours just planning everything, and I mean, this was not Liquid's day. We came more prepared than them, so hats off to Liquid though. They've been playing super well the whole tournament.
Yeah, we saw you guys greeting them as you crossed the stage. Obviously, mutual respect on both sides there.
Yeah, for sure. They're really good players.
How would you say you fit in with this team, both as a player and personality-wise?
I guess I'm a kind of humble guy. They usually say that I'm humble, but inside the team, I'm more jokingly and like I'm a bit like in my team. They tend to say that I'm a flamer and stuff.
Yeah, they said that in our team interview. Is that, I thought they were joking.
Are
you really?
Usually with friends, I'm like that. But I think me in this team is. I guess we got closer together when me and Tal got into the team. Like, we're more friends now, I guess, than they were before in the team.
When do you show a lot of emotion outside of in the pods? Like, you're going for your second Aegis.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we're winning, I'm screaming.
You're really going for it.
Yeah.
When you're looking ahead to the grand final, or I guess I should back up and say, are you looking ahead to the grand final, or are you only focused on tomorrow morning?
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm not thinking about the finals.
Do you feel pretty confident considering how well you performed against PSG, LGD in group stage?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident, but this team, they play way better on main stage than they play in the groups, so we have to be way more prepared than we were today.
I'd love, as a veteran, to get your take on what this community means to you, having been a part of it for so long, both your fellow pro players and all of the fans watching.
I mean, like coming here, seeing how many fans I have here in Canada is amazing. Like usually when we travel outside like in China and Europe and stuff, we don't have as much crowd like EG, but here they're exploding the crowd. There's so many fans, and I'm happy.
Do you want to show us? I got flamed on Twitter for this, for asking people to show us some energy, but I feel like you could use a little energy.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you want to show us a little?
Like a scream or a roar?
Sure. Yeah. Here, let's just stretch.
What do you want?
What are you in the mood for?
Battle roar?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, in Swedish?
Yes, please.
I'll scream like I did when I won tier 3.
Okay, yes.
Yora!
Yes!
All right.
That was good! Yeah. Thank you! Thank you for playing along. Look at all your fans! You can see them on a monitor there. That's all for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We look forward to watching you guys play tomorrow morning. Yeah. All right, Joe, we're back to you guys.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you, S4. Obviously, feeling ecstatic. I mean, usually combo. You can see the hints of the emotion. They're willing to go along, of course, as well after a good win against Team Liquid. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you're watching right now, don't go anywhere as we wrap the day up. We do have a special presentation coming up, so stay tuned for that. But right now, we do want to check in with the other side of this match. Reigning champions Team Liquid, unfortunately, getting knocked out, and Machine has a chance to hear from GH.
Yes, I'm standing by with GH, and this is the less fun part of the show, but it's still, you guys played a fantastic game of Dota, and that was a game of Dota filled with some of Dota's hardest hitters. I mean, that was an all-star match by definition. What was it like to play? What was it like to be on that stage against EG, so close to the tippy top?
I mean, it always feels great to play these games. We just wanted to play more games, but I guess our road ends here.
And a lot of times I hear from almost every player, Liquid especially, that it is just in pursuit of that fun. The Aegis is a bonus, the money is a bonus. Stepping onto that stage, did you manage to keep it fun in that booth?
Well, yeah, we tried for the most part, but you know, losing isn't really fun. And specifically not being able to play more games on this stage is not much fun. Yeah. So we had fun for the most part.
And if you wouldn't mind, just talking a bit about that game yourself, what is immediately your reaction? What do you think went wrong? What stopped you from taking some more games on that main stage?
I feel like we didn't play really well, not according to plan. We drifted off from the strategy and we didn't execute well.
And I think actually Casey asked a really interesting question to the winners just a couple of moments ago. She spoke about, what does Dota mean to you? You keep coming back, you've tasted the Aegis, you get to the top 3 of what is seen by many to be the most competitive international to date. What does Dota mean to you? I've seen your family are here, it must have been quite a journey.
Well, honestly, we gave up everything just to be here, to be able to play for this amazing crowd and for the amazing fans. And it's everything to us, because we gave up everything else in life that we do. We gave it up just to be here.
Yeah. You can hear the fans, right?
Yeah.
Could you hear them in that booth as soon as you leave?
Yeah, but that wasn't nice because we had just lost.
There's a lot of love for Liquid. There's a lot of love for you, GH, and I can't wait to see you doing what you do best next time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Machine, and thank you, GH, for taking the time to chat with us a little bit. So that wraps it up for Team Liquid, not able to continue on their run for a second title as a brand, but of course still a couple players left in this tournament that will be going on forward, especially with Evil Geniuses as well. March, your final thoughts on that match. EG showing up strong 2-0.
EG looking very strong, Liquid not being able to play like they used to, but if I'm Liquid, I wouldn't be disappointed about the result. They were the TI champions last year, and the 4th place in this big tournament is something to be proud of, for sure.
Of course, Evil Geniuses will have to play immediately tomorrow morning up against
Seruput Poppy!
Zaman seru nonton Asian Games!
3 menit siap jadi supporter sejati tanpa kompromi.
Hah? Bangun! Popmi! Step 1. Seduh Popmi. Dengan 3 rasa kemenangan, bakso tenis yang sedap nikmat, ayam lari yang segar mantap, dan ikan renang yang gurih nyoy.
Step 2. Pompa balon pop-pop.
of that fact, right? What we talked about earlier is how Liquid's done in the past year, or I guess now looking at it 2 years, is really impressive, right? And for any other team, that's something to be very proud of. Obviously, in the moment, it is heartbreaking to take that loss, but what they've achieved across the years has been impressive. And of course, I think a lot of fans will look forward to hopefully seeing more of that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we gave you a little hint